We all Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? I'm the Celtic Warrior, Sheamus.
Soda.
And I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
Yeah. I think even though nobody hears the rest of the song, I think they know it. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't they know where it goes from there? Yeah, fill in blanks. Fill in blanks. Guys, this is another episode 1 of Wrestling on the Rocks, where every show is our first show because we cannot get it right. So if you're listening to today's show, you're in luck. You haven't missed a thing. If it's your first time, if it is your last time, it was a good run. It's a good run while we had you. We did all we could, and you know, you win some, lose some. You know.
Yep, it happens.
Guys, I am at Ref Marsh. Kev.
Martian.
Well, here's the thing. The Sam Roberts suggested I call all of the fans of the show Martians. And I told him that you had pitched Wrestling on the Rockers. He goes, "No, make like a war out of it. Like, I've got more Martians than you got Rockers." So.
Well, I said Rockaholics.
Rockaholics. That's what it was. I was thinking of Wrestling on the Rockers. I thought you went like Marty Jannetty on me.
Yeah. Just blew past Shawn Michaels and then straight Marty Jannetty.
Yeah, dude. You drink more than Shawn does. He's... You're like, yeah, but I hope I don't drink as much as Jannetty either.
Yeah. Find some middle ground there.
Yeah. These can't be the only options. I'm not going to lie. Kev, tell the people who you are.
I'm Kevlar on the Rocks with an X because that was too long to put the CKS on it.
Yeah, it was too many characters.
Yeah.
Twitter's trying to shut us down, man.
I know. We got the algorithm all wrong.
Yeah. They got those new updates. What was that?
What?
Did you do a thing on the computer? It's got a new sound effect. I don't think it got picked up. I don't think it was picked up because of how we do our audio now. We determined before. But I thought for a second something happened in the chat room. Guys, we are on twitch.tv/Wrestling on the Rocks. If you're listening on podcast, you can join the chat and be part of the show. I thought something happened in there. Sometimes... What was that? What is it you just did?
I dropped a file in a folder because you yelled at me about it.
Oh, you're organizing. And now I hear this. Whoa, it's so good.
I love it. We need to keep it.
Yeah. Now I want the sound in there. People are going to be like, this is going to drive me crazy. Kev, it's been a week, man.
Yes,
It's been a long week. What is in your glass?
Today I am drinking some Makers on the Mark straight Kentucky whiskey. None of that blended shit because I don't want anything Scotch or Scottish near me right now. If your name's Scott, fuck you too.
Yeah,
fuck the
Scott. Everyone named Scott.
Yeah, fuck them all. We lost half of our fans. We had a big Scott following.
There was a lot of Scots who used to listen. I was feeling very similar to you in the idea of I have tons of Scotch lying around the house, which is why I picked proper number 12, Irish whiskey, because I was a lot happier with Sheamus today than I was with Scottish.
Yeah.
What? Sheamus is Irish. You didn't know that? Yeah. Oh, you didn't know that. Oh.
Oh.
You got some chatter?
Yeah, we got
Read it. I don't have my thing open, and I'm trying to get this bottle open. Read it.
Varel is asking, have you heard of an amateur wrestler named Tonka Saw?
Tonka Saw?
Tonka Saw. Yep.
What region? Where's Tonka Saw located at? Because it sounds vaguely familiar, but I don't want to like commit to that because I could be thinking of like Tonga Kid or something. You know what I mean? I get stuff mixed up in my head a lot. I drink.
Oh my god.
I can't get into this bottle, and I need it more than ever. I got it.
Internet blood sports.
If they're from Internet Blood Sports, I can tell you I have not seen one of their matches, but there's a good chance I've seen the flyer. Okay. This is gonna be a good one.
What the hell?
I don't have space for anything. I've made all this space. I've got more coasters than I got things. I should have organized this before the show. This is a good show. This is a good behind the scenes peek. People like to know what's going on behind the scenes. Kev, I'm using my new Elimination Chamber and WWE logo rocks glasses I got from my new Slam Crate. Did you check out that unboxing we did?
No. But I saw
Here's
the
the-
picture you sent me.
Son of a bitch. You could have kayfabed that, dude.
Yes, it was amazing.
So good. So good. Yeah, so God, I hate you, man. I hate you so bad. There was a Slime Crate. Here's the deal. You know how I've been messing up all the unboxings? I think I finally figured it out. This was our first good one, which is lucky because it was still episode 1 of unboxings.
Nice. Good
So
job. You actually turned the camera on this time?
This time I turned on the audio. That was a big failure, the first part of it. Actually, in it, I tell everyone it's a second take. I go, okay, well, I just opened this a few minutes ago, and I recorded the whole thing without audio. Here we are, take 2. We're going to do this. But in there was the secret of the whole thing, dude. The whole thing went so much smoother. I had so much more excitement because I already knew what was in the box. I got to stop opening this shit live on the air, man. Because when I just raw record live, I'm trying to figure shit out, trying to figure out what I like about something sometimes. I'm just all like, and I try to cut it. Yeah. No. The trick is open it, have everything out on the table, and just be like, check this shit out. That's my new trick.
10-second video. Just look at it.
Yeah. It's a shorter video, but I think more compelling. I'm not going to lie. Not going to lie.
Yeah. You do like your spoilers, so.
I try so hard not to be into the spoilers, and then I just can't have a world where I don't know what's going on with wrestling right now. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I gotta know. Kev, we can break into the news real quick. There's not a ton of stuff, but there was poignant things. I'm gonna start with something a little fun. The New Day got skins for the Gears of War video game.
Oh, I thought you said they got skinned. I was like,
Oh.
that doesn't sound fun at all.
Yeah, you're like, this is bad news, man. This is terrible news.
Yeah, I was like, why are you happy about this?
Yeah. What the hell? I thought you loved them.
Yeah.
The Gears of War, they have these like 3 new skins for the characters, and it's all 3 of the New Day in this giant gear and stuff, which is so cool. I think another thing that makes it another level of cool is how much Xavier Woods loves Batista, and now he's technically in a video game with Batista that's not a wrestling game.
Nice.
And Batista's not Batista in that game, but Batista's playing a character. You know what I mean? Like, it's just to me kind of like meta levels of like Xavier Woods has to be losing his fucking mind right now. The PS5? Yeah. At least especially when he was 5. I was like, what did he say when he was 5? Yeah.
How much he loved Batista when he was 5.
Yeah. His childhood hero.
Yeah. Like R-Truth and John Cena.
Exactly. Did you get a chance to see the pictures of the Gears of War thing?
No.
I meant to send you a picture, and that's my bad. But it does. But it looks slick, dude. It looks really good. You'll like it when you see it. The other thing that happened, we'll go into. We'll go into this one. We'll do a quick tears in our beers here on this one. R.J. Meyer, the Bruiser, passed away over the weekend, and there was a lot of really nice stories and shout-outs about him. I'm not familiar with his work, and so I don't want to like make up something or say the wrong thing, but he definitely seemed to be beloved, and definitely there was a lot of really cool stories going around about him on the internet, and we're always sad to see someone go. So tears in our beers for R.J. Meyer.
Yes.
Oh man, proper number 12, dude. You know when she got the bottle, when she got the bottle, dude, she told me it was the same price as Red Label.
Oh, yeah?
Can you believe that? I would put this up with Black Label any day.
Yeah.
right?
But it might make you hit an old man in a bar, so be careful.
No, his lippy attitude is what's gonna do that. It's not my drinking. It's your fucking back talk that gets you decked in a
mouth.
bar. Yeah, it's your mouth.
Yeah.
If my stepdad taught me anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the booze.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the booze. Let's see. Here's we'll do this one. Becky released a photo shoot with her and Seth being more pregnant than ever. Becky's as pregnant as she's ever been. Did you get a chance to see any of them?
The whole time.
Yeah.
No.
If there was a believe in kayfabe before, it's definitely real, definitely good. It was a
Unless
really
it's
nice
Photoshop.
photo shoot. Yeah, no Photoshop. It was a really nice photo shoot, though. It was really cool. I like the way that she's been handling this online, with the way that the wrestling internet community can be so obsessive and bizarre, and we'll get into that right next. But it can be really, really nerve-wracking, I think, to let out too much of your personal life. And so I thought she did a really good job. She just kind of kept it. She posted like one picture with Seth, with her with brown hair once she let the red go out. But before she was showing, and then she hasn't had any pictures. And then a couple weeks back, she released a picture of her at Dead Boys Fitness and it was just a shadow. It was her shadow on the wall with like her hair up and like obviously a pregnant belly. So it was like a really cool like teaser too of like, yep, I'm showing this and that. And then today it was boom, her and Seth together,
Very nice.
with their little photo shoot. It was really nice. I guess there was some flack some people were giving about some of the outfits and stuff. I thought all of it was fine. I thought all of it was nice. And some people were saying some was too formal. Some was saying it wasn't formal enough. And I thought, hey, they look happy and they look good.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Each one. There was one picture I was all like, is he wearing sneakers? That was it. That was the most scrutiny. I mean, it wasn't even like,
I
oh,
didn't see that. I just thought,
Yeah.
oh, nice, they're happy.
yeah, they looked so nice. They looked so good. And then when I saw the sneakers, I thought, I wonder if he came like straight from one of his gigs, because all the other ones he's like in suits and stuff. And then there's one where he's like kind of in a shirt and jeans. And I was like, I wonder if he like showed up while they were doing the photo shoot, jumped in, and then got dressed and started doing stuff more and more. I don't know, but it was cool. And yeah, fuck you guys. Anybody who has something bad to say about a happy couple.
Yeah.
Well, no matter what's out on the internet, everyone's gonna find someone's gonna find a reason to shit on it.
Yeah.
Be the best thing in the world. Like, we ended world hunger and it's global peace, and everyone's like, god damn it, I'm pissed off.
Well, that's where GMOs came from. You remember that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was like, look, we found a way that we can get 10 times more wheat out of one wheat grain. And people are like, it'll kill you. In the long term, it's bad for your health. Don't eat the cure to world hunger. That's my take on GMOs. Frankenfoods, remember all that? It's good stuff. Either way, awesome to see them happy, to see them out doing their thing.
Yeah.
Really cool way of doing it too. I know some people have been a lot more open about their pregnancies and stuff, and I thought the way that she did it was really cool, really classy, really nice. I'll send you those the pictures later on so you can take a look. Producer was looking at him just like in awe, just being like, is she getting in better shape since being pregnant? Like, she looks better than ever. What's going on? Aren't people supposed to kind of like be like, oh yeah, but she's pregnant? This is like, oh, pregnant people can look that good? You go, all right. A new precedence. I mean,
Makes the rest of us look bad.
I know. You're just all like, Becky, stop. You're going to ruin it for the rest of us. People are going to start setting the bar pretty fucking high all of a sudden. Can you imagine? Your wife gets pregnant and you go, Becky Lynch held it better together than you. It's like side-eyeing her, like, did you even see Becky's arms while she was pregnant? They're good. You're like, what are you doing?
Toned.
Yeah, toned. What are you doing? You don't have to lose your tone. Everyone knows that now. It's out. Everyone gets it. You're just Your wife, she's lazy.
Okay.
You're the laziest pregnant woman in this house.
Yeah, in this house.
Yeah. And then Kevin's on the Kevlar immediately becomes on the show full time. He just lives here now.
Yeah.
If that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, so remember that gag from before? Turns out it was bad. It was a bad idea.
This is one we should have gone back to the drawing board on.
Yeah. I gotta stop listening to you, dude.
God. Thought you were my friend. God.
Yeah. What do you mean it didn't work?
Dude,
Speaking
it's like a
of
sleepover every night now.
yeah. Did we just become best friends?
Bunk beds.
Yeah. Speaking of the really happy couples and such, and people being absolutely weird on the internet, Alexa Bliss got engaged to Ryan Cabrera over the weekend. Did you hear about this one?
Yeah. Tears in my beers for that.
Well, it's a little both. You celebrate and you mourn. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Damn it.
Dude, some
We
of the
lost
people.
another one, fellas.
Yeah, we lost one. She was really looking for the slobbiest wrestling fans
Yeah.
to have wedlock with, and somehow a
Schmuck
good-looking pop star stole the heart. Everyone's watching her with the fiend going, we have a chance now. I look just like him.
I got it.
Yeah, and then she ends up with like a GQ pop star, and we're like, how?
What?
I got an idea.
Way to settle, Alexa.
Yeah. Oh, what's this? Endless pop songs in your house? Bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. But no, yeah, congratulations to her.
Yeah, congrats to the happy couple.
Yeah.
I didn't get to know. My introduction to Ryan Cabrera was on that talk show, or not talk show, the reality show with Ashley Simpson. He was Ashley Simpson's boyfriend while she was recording I don't know if it was like 2 or 3 seasons. It wasn't long. It was a couple seasons. And so he was prominent on that show. And I remember thinking he just seemed like the coolest dude. I remember even telling my brother at the time, I was like, this dude seems like chill. Like, we probably could have hung out with him. Like, he just seems like pretty cool. So then you don't hear about him for a long time because he's got a few albums that go here and there. I don't listen to the music to radio much, so I don't know when things came out or not. And then like the next time I hear about him is he's dating Alexa Bliss, and I was like, what? Has he even put out an album? He's just dating Alexa Bliss? But he seems like a pretty cool dude. And then if you watch either of their Instagram stories, they seem like so happy and annoyingly adorable. I have to tell the producer all the time to stop watching that stuff. I'm like, it's not like that in real life. It's their TV show.
Yeah.
Don't you understand? Things are different with celebrities.
Damn it, Ryan. You're making the rest of us look bad.
Yeah, damn it, Ryan. I'm yelling at the producer. This is why the show needs to be famous, because then we could do this. That could be us, but produce better.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah.
Give me better content.
Yeah. You got to clip more highlights. You got to say something that's worth listening to.
Do you want us to start singing?
Yeah, we just got to start singing. I was getting all hyped up, getting ready for Raw this week, and I was listening to Ryan Cabrera's album from 2004.
Oh, nice.
It's the jam, dude.
How could you get hyped? How can you get hyped up for Raw this week?
I needed desperately to find a way, and that's why I listened to Ryan Cabrera's album, because I knew if I did anything wrestling related, it wouldn't do it.
I was thinking about taking ecstasy.
Ecstasy will do it. Ecstasy will do it.
Yeah.
We'll do these last two things. There are two people who are no longer with the companies they were with. One of them is Marty Bell is no longer with the NWA. She mentioned today that she is not with the NWA anymore. Her contract expired. She did not renew it. Her and Allison Kay both this past 2 weeks, man. Or past month at least. There's been a lot. Zicky Dice, I don't think he was renewing his contract. Obviously, Ricky Starks, Eddie Kingston. I'm looking at their roster just thin out, man. And I'm not seeing them like pick up anybody, which also makes sense because they're not doing much right now. And then was it James Storr showed up on Impact? Storm and Eli Drake dropped the tag title, so it makes you wonder what's happening with Eli Drake. Like, I don't know what's NWA got left.
He's been on the championship.
Yeah, the primetime stuff, yeah. But that's where they've been doing as much of the NWA stuff as they can do, and they're just not keeping anybody through that. And then I started thinking, I was like, I wonder if that's why AEW has the NWA title now. NWA just has nobody left. They have Thunder Rosa under contract, and that's it. Who's she supposed to defend with? You know what I mean? I don't know, but good luck to Marty Bell. I'm hoping that she made the decision that was right for her, as we hope for all of these people who make their own life decisions based off of real information and not internet speculation, which is what makes us wrestling journalists. And then the last one, the last one we're going to hit on it, because I don't know how much you wanted to talk about it or what you even wanted to say
Not
about
at
it.
all.
Not at all. You're like, pass.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Next. Zelina Vega was let go from WWE. Sports Illustrated put out an article about it that was very poorly written and just seemed to be scrambled and filled with speculation. But one thing they did have in there that seemed like actual data was that the WWE confirmed that they let her go. She was fired for breach of contract. She had breached her contract, and that was that. There's been no real details given on either side. There's been a load of internet speculation about it having to do with the third-party things.
Twitch and stuff.
The Twitch. She's got, mostly she's got Twitch and OnlyFans. She's got the Cameo. I think she has, does she have a YouTube? She has a YouTube, yep. Her and Alistair had a YouTube show. So there's a ton of speculation that was her breach of contract because she didn't bring any of it down. And now WWE opened up a posting where they're looking for someone who is good with like Twitch graphics and overlays and stuff. And I was all like, remember like 2 months ago when the first rumors leaked and we thought, I wonder if WWE is going to try and like brand on Twitch to make it easier to find people and maybe even, obviously money's always a factor, but what about also trying to find your favorite superstars on a platform you didn't realize they were on?
Mm-hmm.
Remember I told you how hard it was for me to find anybody on Cameo?
Yes.
Kayfabe motherfucker. I'm just saying, I was looking specifically for WWE superstars and could not find them because they were all using other names and had things hidden in ways where it was hard to find them unless you knew who they were. And at that point, you're selling to obsessives and your friends and family. But
see, I looked for them one time and I just typed in wrestling or WWE and a lot of them popped up.
yeah, but there's a lot you didn't realize were on the platform as well that did not.
Maybe.
Yeah, because 100%. If you look up WWE or if you looked up wrestler, you would find some. But then you had to start finding other ways to look them up. Like I don't think the Iconics came up in under wrestling or WWE or something like that. I think I had to find out what their real names were and find them that way. What?
The body of work speaks for themselves.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't call them that either. It's bullshit. But at the end of the day, I don't know. We don't know. It was a breach of contract. It would be safe to say that there's a possibility that there's likely something to do with that. But at the end of the day, we don't know, and I don't like to speculate and pretend we know stuff that we don't, or pretend that we know contracts, because I don't understand contracts. But right before she got fired, or before WWE put out the tweet that they had fired her, she put out a tweet saying, "I support unionization," which started a huge speculation of like she got fired because she's starting a union. Okay, well, I think maybe she was trying to diverge that conversation. Here's the thing I know. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you know, coming from her perspective, you don't know what WWE is gonna release for their actual reason for, you know, if they're gonna spill the beans and say, hey, we fired her for, you know, drug use or something. Oh, yeah. You know, so if she throws that out there, well, I wanted this and they said no, that's the real reason. You know, so you know, there's, you know, to me it's like a sleight of hand. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that might have been it, but you know, she might have been like looking for an alibi beforehand. Yeah,
control the narrative. I think even this though, I think there's also a strong possibility that she believes, because a lot of people do, if there was a union, she would have been protected. and she wouldn't have gotten fired, and she wouldn't have to lose any of her things. A lot of people believe that. Here's the thing I know about unions. I'm gonna break it down this way. They're confusing as fuck. They're not. I was with a union once that got a guy back his job for doing the one functionality of the job incorrectly. So I've seen them protect people when people should not have been protected. I've also been in unions that never protected a single person and protected the company more than the people. And it was all about, because kept finding out more and more things were getting lost and more benefits were going away. And the union kept somehow being protected by their own salaries and stuff. Where they were actually a voice for the other side, and it was like there's meant to be the middle ground between the two companies, and I've seen the sway of both sides. It's not always cut and dry. Who knows if they had a union, if the union wouldn't have made the compromise to continue working with WWE, that third party would be gone away with. I mean, that could have been on the chopping block to get something else. Maybe we'll get you insurance, but you can't have third party, or maybe we can get you third party, but we can't get you insurance. Those are legitimate conversations that unions have with these big companies. Annual negotiations, and that's what breeds strikes and stuff like that. Do you mind saying what the name of your bachelor degree is? What it was titled? Political structures and social change. It was a lot of words.
It was basically political science.
That's what she says, always basically political science. But there's like 11 words in her bachelor's degree. That's how complicated unions are. She studied all about labors and unions, and they're so complicated, you can get a 4-year degree out of it. So I don't know that that's the end-all, be-all answer. I don't necessarily think that there is no answer there.
And I worked in a union.
Yeah, and she worked in the union as well. So I do think that unions are a little more complex than the internet likes to pretend they are. Kev, what do you think?
Yes.
Oh my god.
No, I agree. Like, people, and it's not just with unions. They have a idea about things, and it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like predetermined. Like, hey, if you did this, this will work. And it's like, well, it can also go this way or this way or this way. But no, it's gonna work this way. And it's like, if they have that predetermined like judgment, you know what I mean? I think that's where a lot of these internet trolls or folks come from, where they're like, well, if we just did this, everything would be great. And it's like, it's not cutting, straight down the middle like that,
Yeah, it's not always that easy.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying is I don't know the right answer, and I don't know that a union would have helped. I don't know that would have hurt. I don't know, but I do think it's really peculiar that so many fans are suddenly lawyers and definitive about what happened, A, behind the closed door between Zelina and the company, and B, what's happened in every single locker room conversation and every single agent and lawyer that's ever talked to them about this stuff. Like, it's not that the conversations never loomed about. Decades. Jesse Ventura supposedly lost his good graces with the WWE for trying to put up a union when Hogan was around. You know what I mean? And then people still claim to this day that the only reason there's no union now is because Hogan said no at that moment. You're telling me fucking 50 years later that no other conversation happened in the middle? I'm not buying that. It might have stopped it then on that day, but I'm not buying that there's been no conversation, and I don't think any of us are experts about it. And I do think that the only thing we can definitively say is we wish for the absolute best for Zelina and the decisions that she's made for her future, and hope that they're the best and right for her, because she's the one who has all of that information.
And SAG reached
Yes.
out. You know that.
Yeah, and SAG reached out to her.
President.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, breach of contract could be 1,000 different things, and at the same time, WWE could just use that as a scapegoat. Oh, well, you did this, so it's a breach of contract. Like, who knows what happened? Only, the company and Zelina know, and probably Alistair. He probably knows too.
Alistair's probably got a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's all sorts of weird speculation on that stuff too. But I don't like to be the show that talks about the rumors that people make up. I like to be the show that's making up our own rumors.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No.
That's what makes us journalists.
Yeah.
That's what keeps
Marsh is
us.
getting
Go ahead.
Marsh is getting a 24/7 title shot coming up.
I'll get a 24/7 title shot. Heard it here first. Being the place that makes up their own rumors versus the place that talks about other people's made up rumors is what keeps you and I together. The Ironics.
No.
Dude, yeah. I'm telling you, dude.
No.
Halloween next year, we're
No.
going to be the Ironics.
No.
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 There's no effing way. Yeah, we're done with the news. Unless there was anything else you wanted to say about Zelina.
No, I think, just the same thing. You wish her the best, and, hopefully she finds work where she wants, if she wants to stay in the industry or, in any of her other passions, like, good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, if she decides that Twitch is her thing and that's where she wants to be and thrive, then good luck on that, and send us a couple followers or something, or you could always raid us at the end of one of your streams or something, We're fans, supporters. We're looking to just get the crumbs off your table, ma'am.
Please, man, can I just have a little bit?
Can I have some more? Man, let's get into SmackDown.
Yeah, do we have to?
There was stuff that wasn't Drew.
No.
Yeah.
I will say,
Go ahead.
this whole pandemic, I'm tired of it. We need to move on. This Drew pandemic is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm done with it.
Yeah. There's not enough masks in the world that can keep Drew's taste out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Is that right?
You almost want coronavirus so you can't taste Drew.
Yeah. If only I just had if only I had a way to not be able to smell or taste or anything.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Dude, they are pushing Drew so hard. And
It's
I
ridiculous.
cannot get behind his personality. But here's the thing, though, is I also get it. This is feeling very Roman-esque. Where you
He's
get
the
it.
new Roman.
He's
Yeah.
absolutely the new Roman.
I,
Man.
I was watching SmackDown Saturday night, laying in bed. Everything's quiet. Had my AirPods on. Everything's going. As soon as I heard Drew's music, I almost threw my iPad and I yelled. I was like, "What the fuck's this? This is SmackDown." And I turned it off. I literally was just like, "Nope, not gonna do this."
Mm-hmm.
I had to wait a day and, get back to it. But I was like, why? As soon as that happened, I knew exactly how Raw was going to end up. I knew, ugh.
Yeah, I was not a fan of that. I do think that Roman just destroyed Drew on the mic and in personality, and it reminded me, I don't like to speak for others, except if I'm giving them wrong takes, or telling you how to talk to your wife when she's pregnant. That's when I like to speak for others. But
Yeah. That's when I'll chime in.
yeah. You know what? What was that?
I don't say much, but when I do.
They're not going to get that.
People may be just tuning in, and if they are, hit the like, hit the subscribe, give us 5-star reviews, stay if you want. As long as you give us the like or the follow. Put the I in following, the I in subscribe, the no in notifications. You don't ever have to come back. You can still be a hero.
But please come back.
And also come back.
Don't say that.
Also put the no in ironics, please.
Ironics.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just all like, you keep saying that, we'll never be Alexa and Ryan.
Relationship goals.
Yeah, for sure. But see, here's the thing. Alexa is relationship goals in kayfabe and in real life. She's mastered it, dude. You want relationship goals like Alexa and Bray, and you want relationship goals like Ryan and Alexa. How does she do it?
She got a pig.
There's the pig.
It's the pig. Remember how excited I got when we got those pigs?
That's a good point. Yeah, that changed your whole life.
Like life was complete.
Yeah, things were
I was
different.
like in I was in like 3rd or 4th grade, and I was like, it's all downhill from here. And I was right.
Yeah. You're like, did my life just peak? And your mom looked at you and said, yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
definitely.
You're past your prime now, son.
Yeah. Better settle early as soon as you can. First one you can hook.
Yeah.
I liked Roman Reigns' promo on Orton. It reminded me not on Orton, on Drew. It reminded me how much I'm loving this Roman and this attitude he has, this cockiness about him. He's got a very real sense behind him, where Drew comes out and reminds you how he's less than. He didn't stand up toe to toe against Roman.
No.
I felt like he came off someone out of their league. He was trying too hard and trying to be jokey, and I don't know where that stands. It almost, to me, and I don't want to say anything about the person, because I think the guy behind Drew McIntyre seems like a really cool guy. So I want to talk strictly about the character. That I feel like the character to me comes off so self-conscious and unsure of himself that it comes off as like a fake courage, like a paper tiger. GR Lunar coming through the chat. Hi-de-ho!
Cheers, Lunar.
Cheers
I
to
ain't
Lunar.
going the Mr. Hanky route, but...
Yep. Resident Mr. Hanky, GR Lunar.
I'll just say cheers.
Mm-hmm.
But... You know what's funny is when I was watching Drew and Roman go back and forth, I almost felt like I was like in like the Twilight Zone, because I was like, holy shit, a year ago these roles would be the exact opposite, and they could say the exact same fucking thing.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember? Oh well, yeah. Go ahead.
No, I don't remember anything.
Do you remember when Roman made his return 2 years ago? He had the whole program with Drew that led to Drew versus Roman at WrestleMania. Do you remember any of that?
No. That's why I have
No.
my friend Mark here, Mr. Makers.
Yeah. Yeah, I drank that away.
Yeah.
We should go back, because I believe our first episode 1 was a review for WrestleMania that year. We should go back and listen to it and see what we thought about that match.
Our real episode 1?
Yeah. Well, the original episode 1.
For real?
Yeah.
Pilot?
The pilot episode 1, original first episode 1 pilot.
Alright.
GR Lunar says he was trying to go for Ned Flanders. Lunar was trying to go for Ned Flanders. He thought Howdy Ho Neighbors was going to get us Ned Flanders. You got to say Neighborooners. Or wait, that's Kibby Gibbler.
We done like shat on like 4 shows, right? That one sentence.
GR Lunar, probably though more correct than either Ned or Hanky, is probably Kimmy Gibbler. Resident Kimmy Gibbler, GR Lunar. Guys, if you want to be part of the chat, twitch.tv/wrestling on the rocks. Be part of the chat. Be part of the show.
Does that mean Clump is Uncle Jesse?
I mean, I do have kind of a rivalry. So I could see that. But he doesn't have the hair for it.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Go ahead. A year ago, it would have been roles reversed, and 2 years ago, it actually was roles reversed, and it led up to kind of a legitimately forgettable match. I mean, if now we're trying to hype that the biggest match they can possibly book is Roman versus Drew, we can't forget that that's happened once before, right? We have to say, oh, Roman and Drew 2, the first actual match we care about. You know? And even then. Well, now we're going to get it Survivor Series, and so now do we even care?
Yeah.
So what, we're gonna get a rubber match at WrestleMania? I don't know, man. I don't know. I know that Roman looked awesome here, and I thought Drew seemed out of place, and I wasn't a fan of it. But at the same time, I think Drew is the best heel they have.
He is, and that was Roman's thing. Roman was the best, not the best heel, but Roman was a good heel when he was, pushed so hard.
He was probably second only to Shane McMahon.
Yeah. And with Drew right now, it's just like, go away. He's like the new Roman Charlotte Flair, all in one ball of.
Here's the thing. I think Drew puts on decent matches most of the time. They're pretty good. But I just never want to see him win it. So I think for me, he's a great heel because I'm actually interested in seeing him get his ass kicked by Randy Orton. I want to see that. Hell in a Cell was very good to me. It was very exciting to see Randy Orton beat Drew McIntyre. I was like, finally, we did it. Redemption. And it was the heel losing. I mean, it does remind me a little bit of, like you said, Roman when he was up against Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman was literally murdering Sami Zayn one week in a trash compactor and then throwing Roman Reigns in a gurney off of a fucking 12-foot platform. And the crowd went nuts. They're like, woo!
Wasn't it KO?
Yeah.
It was Sami. Yeah, Braun and Sami had a program. Because remember, Sami, all he had to do was survive 10 minutes to win. Remember that Tops Now? I got in that Slam one where it was all like, yeah, but Sami Zayn's only Tops Now was that he didn't lose in 10 minutes. It took longer to lose, so it's a win. But that's how I feel about Drew right now. Is to me, he's the best heel they got because I'm very excited to see him in matches. I think he has an awesome look. I think his personality and his attitude is exactly what it is and booable to me.
Yeah. Well, and, and the other thing I don't get is, with everything he does with Sheamus, it's like, yes, this feels right. Do that. Do it. We've been saying that for weeks. Even this past Monday, which we'll get to. Do it. Like, cool. Just, take the bromance and run with it.
Give me what I want.
Give me what I want. Give me what I want. God damn it. Give me what I want. And then they just, Sheamus is a heel and a great heel, but then Drew's this face, and it's like, well, why are they, interacting and friendly,
Yeah.
It's so awkward and weird, and it raises questions that shouldn't be there. And yeah, they just need to turn him,
lean into it.
I just hope it doesn't take 3-4 years like it did with Roman. He better have been turned by WrestleMania.
I don't know, man. I don't know. But here's the thing: is Roman is so good right now. He can't stay a heel too long. He just can't. Well, how they can? Is the fact that they're in the Thunderdome and they're not in front of a live crowd. If they were in a live crowd, they'd have no choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the crowd would just start 100%. Cheering.
And I think that's the reason why they're pushing Drew so much is because they're telling you, hey, cheer this man. Literally. And people, in the Thunderdome, people just want to be on TV. They're excited. They want to be on TV. So cheer this man. Okay. You see, I've seen a few people with Randy Orton shirts, clapping for Drew when he wins or does something. And I'm like, you sell out. You just want to be on TV.
Well, look, there's two. Okay. I'm Thunderdome VIP. I do want to say hi to Grim Reaper, who just showed up into the chat. He says, hello, team. When did Roman Reigns get here? Awesome hair, Marsh. Oh, I don't have my hair back today. I have it down. If you're watching on twitch.tv/Wrestling on the Rocks, you would know. Check out our YouTube for archive footage. Archival.
How is Marsh going to do his hair this week?
Yeah. I used to try and do the side braid like Becky has. But that started a lot of fights with me and producer, so I had to stop.
A lot.
We're not letting you do it. Stop it.
Do you know
Oh,
how many
it's
times
fine.
he knocked on my door and he's like, "Hey," I was like, "What happened?" He's like, "I just wanted a break." And I was like, "All right."
Yeah. I just need to talk to your wife.
I can hear you.
And
She can't.
yeah.
But
She's not sitting on the couch. She's like around the corner, and she's just like fuming. Stop.
you gotta
So-
let me know when she dozes off again during the show, and we'll go into full detail.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Once she's asleep, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. It won't be long. She can't get through one of these shows no more than any of our viewers can. So we got time. We'll get to it.
She just grabs the mic. Last call. That's it.
Yeah. She just screams "last call" and the camera just gets kicked over. What? What'd I say?
She's gonna put you through the table like Lana.
Yeah. Man, I forget what we were talking about now. I'm talking about Roman and Drew. I was about to make a good point. Man, Grim Reaper totally derailed us. Totally derailed us.
Damn it, Grim.
Yeah. I should have taken a note. Yeah, so let's see.
Oh, I know what it was.
What?
If it happened with the live crowd.
The live crowds.
Welcome.
If it was with
There
the
we
live
go.
crowds, it would never would have happened.
And we're
And in the
back.
Thunderdome, I'm Thunderdome VIP. I'm in every single Monday Night Raw Thunderdome. And it is because, and only because, I can't get the live East Coast feed otherwise. I can get the East Coast feed for SmackDown. I can get the East Coast feed for AEW. I then watch the regular West Coast feed for NXT, and I catch all of it that way. But I can't, for the life of me, get the East Coast feed of USA. So the only way I can watch Raw live and not go to bed at midnight every fucking Monday now is by getting into the Thunderdome. And I've got that on lock. I'm in every single dome, dude. But I stopped going to SmackDown. I stopped doing the pay-per-view ones. They stopped making it. Here's the kicker of it. They stopped making it worth it for the fans to really go in there because they've done a couple of things. One of them is exactly like you're saying. They're really coaching hard on who to cheer for now. They started out with that at first because they want to get people who would move. Like, hey, guys, thumbs up. You like this guy, right? Thumbs up. Then after a couple weeks, they stopped doing it and just let you do what you're going to do because people were kind of already active. Well, at this point, they're now really pushing for certain people who I think are starting to get mixed reactions. Guys like Drew come out. Like, guys, it's Drew. Cheer. I want to see a lot of cheers. A lot of thumbs up. Guys, I want to see a lot of cheering. It's Drew McIntyre. He's your guy. So much so that they'll talk over promos to get you to hype up for something else.
It's because they don't want you to hear Drew speak.
Yeah, like, don't listen to this.
Yeah. Guys, it's
Um,
true. Guys, it's true. Shut up. We're trying to listen to what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly. And the one that pissed me off the most is they started talking during Firefly Funhouse. They're like, guys, we're going to be coming back to the crowd here in about 2 minutes, so be ready to do a lot of... I was like, shut up! Like, guys, we're going to be cutting over the crowd now, cutting over to the crowd. They barely... It was a... God, dude, the shot they got out of it was so shit. I was so pissed.
Well, I don't understand why they keep doing that. They'll like show the fun house like they normally do, and then they do the crowd shot. Like if there was a live audience watching it,
Yeah.
it's just people just sitting there. Like I'm like, why do they keep doing that? Drop this part. Like
Yeah.
we don't need to see the crowd's reaction because everyone's just staring at the screen.
Yeah, and I mean, I do like the shot they do that's really far back and you can see all of the screens. I think that's cool because it's all like, oh yeah, here's an experience. But yeah, they'll cut to bits of it here and there where you're all like, the timing's off, guys. The timing is off.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, when something happens, I think we get it we get it at less than a delay than the live feed does or the TV feed gets. But we are still on a delay. I'll see myself on the screen, or I'll see them cut to the fans and start clapping. And then I'll see myself looking down and then looking up and starting to clap real quick before it cuts away. There's a couple seconds delay on it. So if a thing happens in the ring and you cut to the crowd, we didn't see it yet. We're about to see it. You know what I mean? So people are not reacting the way they want them to, I don't think. Grim Reaper saying in the chat, Roman is possible face turn. They're trying to stay heel, and then also you're seeing some reactions are being recycled. I did hear on a podcast that someone had said that they saw themselves on the NXT screens, but they weren't actually watching NXT when they saw it. Like they saw a replay of NXT and found themselves, but it was a night that they were watching like AEW. I haven't seen myself in the NXT crowd, so I don't know. But I also don't know how the crowds are being there for NXT, so I do think it's possible. Because also, if you look at the NXT crowds, they're all in main event merch. Very, very. There's like no one in NXT merch. And I know that if I was watching NXT in the Dome, I'd have a Gargano shirt on or something, you know. So.
No, you don't, because you don't like Gargano.
Yeah, but it's the only NXT shirt I have.
Nah. What are you gonna do?
I got it in a slam
Don't you
crate,
have
man.
Don't you have a Finn Balor shirt?
It's Balor and Bailey as a tag team.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
that'll work. But I do think that, yes, they're really coaching people now, especially with Drew. A lot of thumbs up, a lot of cheers, guys, a lot of cheers. We want to see it, a lot of thumbs up. They also got rid of the superstars used to come in on the commercial breaks. They used to come into like the meet and greet kind of area, and they'd just be on camera and be like, hey, guys, hey. And they'd be like, oh, I see you. Oh, in my shirt. Oh, wave. And they would sometimes, like, Street Profits would come in and just cut a promo for no reason. Some guys I liked, some I didn't, but it was always cool that it was there, and it was something you knew you were getting that the audience at home wasn't. You're not getting any of that stuff now. That doesn't happen anymore. So, yes.
It's because Street Profits moved to SmackDown.
Yeah, Street Profits on SmackDown. That's why I don't see it. But
And it wasn't a random promo. It was just their promo for that week.
yeah, it's just what they just tried it out real quick.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I don't know. I do think that they're really pushing for it. Hey, everyone cheer! But I do think if it was in front of a live crowd, a guy like Roman would not be able to stay heel very long because that crowd is not going to boo him forever, man. They'll cheer for Jay right now because they really feel for Jay. But once he's in that ring with Drew, sorry, Drew, you are not our favorite tonight. Like, there's no way. It'd be a real Ronda Rousey kind of scenario.
Yeah.
With Drew
and
and
I
Roman.
think if it was in front of a live crowd, I think a lot of the Orton Drew matches would have flipped.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I think so too.
I think because WWE's in a tough spot right now where they can't actually get people's reaction.
Yeah.
And that's why they listen to us and they try stuff out.
Yeah.
And they change stuff. They don't change Drew, but they listen to us on everything else.
They do listen to us on a lot, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's evident.
Clear as day.
Yeah. But, I think with Drew, depending on, obviously this whole pandemic and the Drew pandemic and stuff, like when the crowds actually come in, I think WWE is going to be like, oh, holy shit, they're not behind them like they were. And it's like, yeah, because you guys shoved them down our throats so much and no one likes it.
The thing is, I think Drew makes a better heel. Regardless of me saying he's a good heel now, I think even when he tries to be a heel, he'd be better too. Roman, I don't think any of us saw how he'd be able to do heel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We all booed him, but what did we think he'd be able to pull off as a heel? This tribal chief thing is exactly what he needed, and I bet you it wasn't on the table for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Where with Drew, just go fucking psychopath, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm tired of Drew. So tired of Drew, I'm drinking Irish whiskey.
Do you want the new sword?
Yeah.
Shasham. Ooh, my sword. Well, I'm Drew here, and I got a brand new sword.
You got one of those cocktail swords?
Yeah, cocktail sword. We'll hit up the sword when we get to Raw. Let's get through.
It's a claymore.
I would say let's jump back and forth and just talk. A 3, a 2, a 1, a claymore. He's like the fucking owl from the Tootsie Pop commercial.
Yeah. How many licks does it take?
Yeah. How many licks does it take?
Oh.
A 3, a 2, a 1. Claymore. That's how I feel about him. Yeah.
That's enough.
You know they just released a 3-2-1 Claymore shirt?
Ugh.
Oh my god, dude! As soon as I saw it, I was like,
What?
yeah. Grim Reaper says Scottish Psychopath is best for business, and I agree 100%. Here's the thing that also bothers me about that: Drew has shit all over the Scottish Psychopath thing. He thought it was stupid. He was like, "What am I, like part robot? And I'm supposed to be like crazy and violent? Was that stupid? It's like not even me." Fucking bitch, make it you. Be crazy then. Don't move like a robot. That was his own. I don't know, man. He didn't like it, and he's really happy with this one, and I don't like any of that. Because I agree. Scottish Psychopath.
He's on top now.
That's a good point. Let's get through SmackDown so we can tear apart Raw. Although, I mean, top to bottom, though, overall, I thought Raw was actually pretty decent this week. For the most part. There was things I really didn't like. But let's get through some SmackDown. So go ahead. What?
I was just gonna say, on that note, I didn't like how we had to have 4 segments of Drew on Raw, but
Yes.
with the way SmackDown's been going, we've agreed that we think it's the superior show over Raw. But just to start off with Roman and Drew, like I said, Paul Heyman should have just said there, "Hey, spoiler alert," or it's not a spoiler, it's a prediction. Or whatever the fuck he says. I got that backwards. But all you had to do is say, Drew's going to beat Randy Orton. And we're like, yeah, we know. We got this. But with Drew coming out on SmackDown, it set the tone of SmackDown off the bat.
Yeah. I agree. Now, here's what I thought they were doing. Or I'll say this, because credit where credit's due. Here was what I was convinced they were doing. Because I actually talked to Sam Roberts about this one because I was not happy with Drew. And he says, Marsh, as long as I've known you, you've never been able to take your bias out of any opinion. I said, okay, fair. Why should I care that Drew was on SmackDown? And this is how he broke it down to me and how I appreciated it. I do like to plug Not Sam Wrestling if you can on the network. It's there. You can find him at Not Sam on all of his platforms. Check him out. But he broke it down like this to me, and it made sense, and I was actually started to get behind it. The idea of you tease Drew and Roman now, so you kind of go, oh, I like this tension. I want this fight. I want to see this match. But then it doesn't happen because on Raw, Drew either doesn't get the title or he gets screwed out of the title or something, and now you think, oh, man, now I'm not getting that match I wanted. So when you do get to that match at like a WrestleMania, you want it so bad because it was stripped away from you at Survivor Series, just like Ronda and Becky, stripped away from me at Survivor Series. Now I want it more than ever. So I was like, okay, I'm behind that. I started getting behind that. And I was like, yes, here's where we are. We're going to do it. It was a tease. They won't give him the title because they know better. And then they fucking gave him the title.
But see, I would agree with that if they didn't start with Randy Orton, must have been the Monday after Hell in the Cell, where they said, if he's still the champion at Survivor Series, he'll face Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
And because they started it off with Randy, which I thought was absolute horse crap. And I was like, clearly they're not going to do this. And even last week when, one of the questions in the chat was, hey, who do you think going to win on Monday? And it was like, they had no main event. And if they were putting up a poster for Survivor Series, I don't think Randy versus Roman would be, quote unquote, as exciting as they think Roman versus Drew is. And I think right then and there, it was, this is the direction they're going. We talked about it. We said, hey, I think this is what they're going to do. And, they did that. It pisses me off.
I know. I was really pushing for that Miz thing. Grim Reaper in the chat real quick was saying Dolph Ziggler was the worst part of the feud, or the heel run with Drew, that Dolph Ziggler was the worst part. Blue Boyd says, I love anything Dolph. And I kind of agree. I liked Dolph a lot in that because I thought it brought a levity that made the psychopath edge of Drew a little easier to digest. Because I think that standalone, half Terminator, looking like the Boondock Saints, but walking like a Terminator, it might be kind of hard to swallow to say, okay, I'm supposed to believe this dude is just a fucking crazy person in the back too. Maybe not, but with Dolph by his side, calling him a a psychopath the way that he did. Like, I liked it even, like, he would do things or say something, and you'd have Dolph just laughing like, this dude's a psychopath. You know what I mean? Like, I loved it. I thought it added an edge to it that made him seem a little more human in a non-human role.
But see, to me, I always thought it was like a nickname.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily they actually think he's a psychopath.
Yeah, I agree. I agree,
You
but
know,
Drew seemed to take it
and-
literally.
Yeah, but Drew also, I think, got psychopath and cyborg mixed up.
Yes.
Because I don't understand where this whole robot shit came from.
Yeah, dude. You just got his psychopath. That means I'm half robot, right? What?
Yeah, like,
Dude, do you think about a cyborg? No.
yeah, like
It's a
I
psychopath.
don't understand where this whole robot thing ever came from. Because everyone always mentioned, or you know, we've mentioned it, people have mentioned it, and I'm like, wait, where's this robot shit comes from? I've been so confused about that. Unless I missed something.
Yeah.
But
I could just see someone like a Sami Zayn in the back too overhearing him. Is like, that's like half robot, right? Yes. Yeah, no, yeah. You're thinking of the same thing.
yes,
Yeah, and then you have like Woods looking like,
Yeah.
is he thinking about cyborg? Shut up. No, yeah, it's half robot, dude.
Shut
You gotta
up.
move like a robot.
Yeah.
I think he's thinking of cyborg. I think you need to shut up. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
It's half
shut up.
robot. Move like a robot. Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. I am not a robot. Yeah, like,
Yeah. Yeah, Grim Reaper. No, that's the Swiss cyborg. Oh, and he was saying that he thought of like the Shawn Diesel combo. 100% is what I thought of that. But yeah, he confused psychopath and cyborg. Can you imagine? Drew goes over there all sad. They want to start calling me a psychopath. And I'm like, what? It sucks, dude. Like, how am I supposed to be half robot? And they go, what? Like, don't even be like a half a robot. You know, psychopath, where it's like half robot inside. And just someone stares him dead in the eyes and goes, yeah, it's going to be tough. Like,
you could pull it off though, Drew. You got
I think you could do it. Just move a little abruptly, like a, you know. Yeah, it's just tough when they stick you a psychopath and you got to be a robot. I love it. Just so nonchalantly, too. I think you confuse psychopath with cyborg. I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably it. We may not break down all of SmackDown, but I'm going to say this. Sami Zayn versus Apollo Crews was fucking awesome, dude.
It was.
Oh, that's funny. Grim Reaper says, comes out like Glacier with rehearsed kicks and blue light entrance. I'm a psychopath, dude. What do you want? But yes, Apollo Crews and Sami Zayn I thought was fantastic. And then there was dude, every time I see this stuff, I go, oh, I hope Kev sees this, and I don't send it to you. And I got to just start sending you stuff because you watch the things I send you, unlike some hosts.
Sometimes, yes. Yes.
But there was a backstage promo he cut afterwards where I forget who the interviewer was. I don't think it was Charlie. It was one of the other ones. And they just said something like, "Do you think that a victory like that is going to help you against someone like Bobby Lashley?" And he goes, "What do you mean like that?" And he goes, "Are you trying to insinuate that a count out victory is somehow a lesser of a win than a 3 count?" And he goes, "I would argue that it's more impressive than a 3 count." He goes, "Because I have to keep the man down for 10 count. That is more than 3 times the allotted time." He goes, "Apollo Crews is a 240-pound man. You think it's easy to keep him down for 10 seconds, let alone 3? Or like 3 seconds, let alone 10? You know?" And it was just so good that he was arguing that tying him up in the fucking apron and sliding in at the 9 count was just so much more. Oh, it was so good, dude. Yeah, it was just like that's a true victory. I kept him out of the ring and on the ground for 10 full seconds. That's a much greater victory than getting a measly 3 count in the ring.
Yes. Well,
Loved
see, to me, the immediate thing I thought of right after the 10 count, because I thought originally he was putting his leg in there to, mess it up, jump on it, jump on his knee or whatever. As soon as he got in and he just stood there and they reached 10, I was like, oh, that was brilliant. It makes all these other idiots that go and disturb the 10 count and go back outside to, keep hitting somebody look like fucking idiots.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I think the more and more I hear Sami on the mic, and the more Sami gets going on the mic, and he gets all riled up, he reminds me so much of Andy Kaufman. And especially this whole gimmick where he's like tying him up like that, like you said, it makes everyone else look so stupid. He brings out handcuffs and keeps the key in his mouth hidden, and then he's got the fucking key, and he's, oh, I got him now, handcuffing the fucking earlobe to Jeff. Oh, you know, when I met Sami, that was the one thing I was gonna ask. What was that conversation like? Being like, Jeff, hear me out. I want to put handcuffs through your ear holes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did a meet and greet of Sami. It's on our YouTube, or not our YouTube, but on on my Twitter. If you follow me at Ref Marsh, you can see my 2 minutes with him. And we were just shooting the shit. It was really cool. It ran a little longer than the 2 minutes they provide. He just kind of kept hitting the timer a couple times, but not a lot. But he we were just I forgot everything I wanted to say. I was so fucking hungover from the show before. Thursday was a rough show, man. But that was the one thing I was going to ask, is like, hey, I got to know, what was that conversation like? How do you go to Jeff Hardy and say, hey, buddy, pal, friend, I want to put a handcuff through your actual physical body? But
to me, it has to be Jeff. Jeff must have some ear fetish. Because, Randy did that shit. Now Sami did it. Pretty soon Elias is going to put a guitar pick through it. If not the whole goddamn guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, Sheamus should have just put a whole bottle through it.
Yeah.
Grim Reaper says next we're going to see the Eddie Chair DQ spot. But Ricochet did that a couple weeks back.
Yeah. Sheamus does oh, you got something behind your ear. The old grandpa trick, and pulls out a bottle of whiskey. What is this, son?
Yeah. Hey. But I do think that all that stuff just goes back to Andy Kaufman. I'm smarter than you. I'm from Hollywood. Because his whole gimmick, Andy Kaufman's entire gimmick was, I'm smarter than you because I'm from Hollywood and you're from Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee. He had a whole fucking promo about, this is soap, use it. And he had this whole thing, this is toilet paper and this is how it works. Like, he's like, oh yeah, he's a dick, dude. He was so good. And they sold out the fucking Omni week after week just because Andy Kaufman, nobody wanted to see anything more than they wanted to see Andy Kaufman get the shit kicked out of him for being such an asshole. And I think that Sami has tapped into that bit of assholeness of like, I'm smarter than you. I don't have to be bigger and stronger. I just have to be smarter. And you guys are all dumb. So good, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't say enough good things about Sami Zayn. Olay! I almost wore my mask for the Sami meet and greet, but I thought that might be too far. I did say Olay, though. That's how I opened it. He goes, hey, and I went, Olay! And he just started laughing. He goes, okay. He goes, oh, one of those.
Turns around. Yeah. Turn around. We have another one.
Yeah, he goes, oh, it's one of them. I thought we would have filtered them,
2
no?
minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do they do any kind of pre-screens, surveys,
Yeah.
anything like that? Questionnaires?
Anybody just gets in? Okay. Anything else you want to say about the Sami and Apollo stuff?
No, I mean, I was little expecting Apollo to win, but then the way the Sami, did his thing.
Yeah.
It was great. I liked it.
Do you think Sami's going to win at Survivor Series?
No.
What? I think he has to, man.
Well, what is he gonna do?
Something fucking snaky. I don't know what, but I feel like the Sami has to win.
Does he recruit Retribution?
He might recruit Retribution. I think Kevin Owens is on the same program as him now, right? So you
Yeah.
can have the reunion start at Survivor Series. People would blow for that.
And it would go. He's the people's champion.
Yeah, he's a champion of the people.
For the people who've been ignored.
Yeah, I mean, he was Sami was cast aside by the artist collective. It wouldn't be too hard to imagine him being able to side with his charisma with the likes of Retribution. That wouldn't be impossible because, you know, you guys have been underutilized. Believe me, I've been underutilized my entire career. No one thinks I should even be champion right now, even though I'm a 2-time and still Intercontinental Champion. Like,
Dude, how great would it be if on Survivor Series, Retribution's cutting a promo and they like pan and there's Sami with his mask on,
just
like in the background,
just a Generico
right
mask.
behind T-Bar. Yeah.
Like a Generico mask, but painted all black. So, like, you see it and you're like, wait a fucking second.
With some like paint streaks where you can see like the red coming through still.
Yeah, just a couple.
Yeah.
It'd be so good. What the fuck was that?
He's just standing back there and he's like, I'm one of you guys.
Yeah. He goes, no, go on. Ollie stops and looks. Go on. I'm listening. Great stuff, by the way.
Yeah.
So good, man. I think Sami's just phenomenal right now. What my favorite thing, because I even mentioned it when back in 2016 when I started watching again, and you and I both started watching a bunch again. My immediate favorites became Sami and Bayley, and you're immediately like, you're an idiot. And I was like, just because they lose doesn't mean they're not good.
The feeling hasn't changed. I still think you're an idiot.
100%, but for different reasons now.
Yeah.
But I love that all this time later, we fast forward 4 years, and not only have you come around to being like, yeah, they're pretty solid, but so much of the company and others are behind now, just being like, these are top performers. Like, I just
hold on. Let me throw it out there. It didn't take me 4 years to come around on them.
No, but 4 years later you have. So yeah, go ahead and say what you're gonna say though.
Yeah. No, I at first I was just like, all right, whatever, and then, because I didn't see Sami in NXT, and one of my buddies was like, hey, you need to watch him in NXT. He goes, he's got a motor on him, and he just goes. Yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. And then I started, going back and watching some of the stuff I missed, and some of, the talent before they were on the main roster, and I was like, oh shit, like, I see it now. I see where they're coming from.
Him and Cesaro, incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
No, that was it. That's what I was saying.
And I know with Bayley, it was really Rumble 2019, the Raw after with her versus Ronda that I know really flipped you. I remember after that when you texted me, because we weren't sitting next to each other in the crowd, but we were both in the crowd. And you text me and you go like, I think I get this Bayley thing now. That was great.
Yeah, no, 100%. She carried that match. She, she's like, hey, we need to do this. We need to do this, and she made it watchable. Where the crowd wasn't behind them and stuff wasn't behind Ronda, and it was like, yeah, I definitely saw it there. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I remember the whole side of the arena that I was on was just singing to Bayley. And I remember the look that Bayley had looking into the crowd, almost pleading, like, please, like, you got to stop.
Not
like,
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is, and it was just like nonstop. And then we went back and listened to it. They had like muted a lot of the crowd on that one.
Oh, you heard it like start, and then you didn't. I was like, they were, that whole side of the arena was, singing, chanting that almost the entire match.
Yeah, they muted a lot of the crowd. And I remember you messaging me that too. You're like, I just saw with a replay on Raw, and they fucking cut everyone out. You're like, fuck them, man. Bayley's got it. It's like, and I think they trusted Bayley. Yeah, start the revolution. The Bayley-lution. Grim Reaper says Sami versus Nakamura, the original Fight Forever match. Actually, that one is fucking incredible. That might have been the match that turned me, actually, because I believe, well, maybe. Because I think after I saw him right there at the beginning of 2016, I started watching his stuff in NXT, and I definitely saw him I saw that whole, they had a collection on the network, and it definitely has that in there, and I was like, okay, this dude. But it is just cool that, you know, I can fast forward a few years and be like, I got to see them on the rise and I was with them. Because you don't always get that with all of your favorites. But, like, growing up, my favorites were really, like, X-Pac and Mankind and Bret Hart. And I remember that, like, X-Pac was one of those guys where it was, like, it took a while for people to, like, really tell me they also thought he was awesome. You know what I mean? And Bret Hart was during a time when a lot of people were shitting on Bret Hart. So it was all like, oh, no, if you don't like Stone Cold and HBK, you're out of it. And I was like, no, Bret's great. Trust me. It's just, to me, it's fun and it's semi-validating from a fan standpoint to get into certain people at a certain point because of what you see in them. And then in the long term, you can look back and say, yeah, they were actually tremendous in a sea of a lot of other stuff going on. It's just fun. Mm-hmm. It's fun to be a wrestling fan long term. Go for the ride. Either way, Bobby Lashley loses at Survivor Series. Sami Zayn forever. Woo! Ole, ole, ole. Man, we're only in segment 2. Carmella attacks Sasha Banks. Baby, I'm back, baby. I'm liking what they're doing with Sasha and Carmella. I do think that's the right move. I do think Carmella's the one to go with on this. I think that Carmella's coming in strong, coming in hot. I do think it's weird that Bayley showed up, said nothing, and vanished into vapor. Just gone. Yeah. What do you think of that? What do you think of that bit?
I was confused for a little bit. You know, Carmella comes out, attacks Sasha, and then I was waiting for, like, Bayley to jump in and join it. You know, join the attack. And like you said, you're, like, looking around and, like, where'd she go? You know.
If you go back and watch, even when the camera cuts back to Carmella attacking Sasha and you can see up the ramp a little bit, there's no one there. It's almost like they just replayed a previous episode for a second. Yeah. Matter of fact,
like Bayley wasn't even in the arena at that time. Like, it was pre-recorded.
Yeah, but that's the gear she only wore from Hell in a Cell and since. I'll bet you, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back and watch the SmackDowns where Bayley comes out in the previous episodes. I bet you they just recut it. I bet you she wasn't even there, dude. Those snaky TV sons. Grim Reaper does say Carmella is the way. Do you see what I did there? Did you get to see that, Mandalorian?
Yes.
Did you see Sasha Banks slurping up a worm thing?
Yes.
Unsettling.
Octopus tentacle.
It was an octopus tentacle and it was unsettling.
Why?
Oh, you were into it? You're GR Lunar now? Getting into this weird... It was so weird, dude. She's all slurping the thing down, and I was all like, "Oh, internet's gonna love this." And it was like, and I was like, "Ah, they can't even like this one. This is weird."
It was part of the show. Like, I take it for what it's worth. I'm like, all right, whatever. She's in character, you know, whatever.
Oh yeah, it was great. Yeah. It was great. I thought she did awesome. I think it's funny. A lot of people were upset that she wasn't like the star of the whole thing. You're like, relax. It's her first go. She did a great job. Yeah. She was surrounded by great people. She got to do a couple of things. It's gonna go somewhere eventually, I think. So, congratulations to Sasha Banks in that, because Sasha Banks in the Star Wars world.
No.
Yeah. Sasha Banks in the Star Wars universe, we'll say, is awesome. So cool. So now we have Charlotte in the Psych universe. We've got Becky in the Billions universe, and we have Sasha in the Star Wars universe. I need, more than anything, Bailey in the Muppet universe. Someone make this happen. Put Bailey in Muppets Now on Disney Plus. Please. Sasha, make a phone call, please.
Wait, doesn't Becky have a Marvel thing coming?
Becky was originally slated. She was talked about signing something with Marvel before the pregnancy, and there's not a lot been talked about since then. So it's very possible Becky shows up in Marvel, which still leaves an opening for Bailey to show up with the Muppets.
But she's not a hugger anymore.
She doesn't got to be a hugger to be a Muppet, dude. And we got Bret Hart in The Simpsons.
Are they gonna make a Bailey Muppet? Like,
Dude, are you kidding me? If they sold a Bailey Muppet toy, do you know how many I would buy?
all of them?
All of them. I'd be like, oh, an instant sellout. They're like, not a lot of people are buying. No, I'm telling you what I'm doing right now. That was a narration, not a prediction.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. It's not a prediction. It's a spoiler. I'm here to buy out the stock. What are you talking about? But I do like this. I do like this move. I'm gonna go back and find all the Bailey entrances on the way going into this, between Hell in a Cell and now, and see if they just replayed the same thing. Let's see. Otis beat Dolph Ziggler, which was cool. I don't know what they're doing with Otis.
Yeah.
Then you get the final chapter of Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins, dude. What did you think about this and the way that it ended, and Buddy Murphy getting the old handshake from Papa Ray?
You got the blessing.
He got the blessing. How do you say that in Spanish?
El blessing.
All right.
Whoa.
What?
Oh wait, no one probably heard that.
I don't think the mic picked it up.
It did.
Tell me if it did.
I don't know. I heard it through the AirPods.
You heard the AirPods. The AirPods is a different type of mic, bro.
I was saying something and I got.
You're talking about El
interrupted
Papa
by-
Ray. Papa Ray.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hopefully this is the end of it, but you know, the way it like led on with like Seth being pissed off at Murphy, which is understandable because you know it's for the better good or whatever the hell.
The greater good.
The greater good.
The greater good. That's Messiah Booker T. Sorry. The greater good.
You know. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting to watch it play out. Like I said, hopefully this is the end. And you know, we haven't seen Dominic in the ring in forever. He showed, you know, good promise with his stuff versus Seth, and then, you know, Ray comes back and we haven't seen him, you know, in what, months? And then, you know, Murphy gets the handshake. You know, I don't know. I truthfully, I don't know how I feel about it. You know, is it going to be a Ray, Dominic, Murphy stable faction?
You know, to be honest, putting Dominic with Buddy Murphy and having them just go for the tag titles and kind of go on that route wouldn't be the worst thing for a guy like Dominic. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of shitty tag teams on the way up to success.
Yeah.
And they would be a phenomenal tag team.
Yeah, and I don't think it'd be bad for Murphy either.
Me neither.
You know, I could see it, you know.
And if you played it where it's like Dominic and Buddy being managed by Ray, you know, that could extend Ray another year or two before he's got to do much in the ring. He could stay ring ready and just not beat himself up. So he can have a really good retirement match.
Be like MVP, kind of just.
A little MVP-ish. Much smaller, but you know. MVP-to.
Explain why you're dying.
No, what? What do you mean? for itself.
Oh, he went there.
I did it. Proper number 12. We're not sponsored. Sponsored, not sponsored. Sorry. Producer's super disappointed. Kevlar couldn't be happier.
Out of all the things that come out of your mouth, she's pissed off about that.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the line we found.
That was it.
Yeah. We gotta get an MVP though shirt. We'll fix it in post.
You're making me laugh even just by you laughing.
Yeah, you're ruining it.
But I could get behind a MVP though shirt before Ironics.
For the Ironics, you'd rather an MVP shirt?
Yes.
MVP though? I'll have it say Ironics on the front and MVP though on the back.
I'm with Grim Reaper. Come on, man.
Like, come on, man. Grim Reaper.
I just want an MVP all big and then little pito on the side.
Mm-hmm. On the sleeves.
Yeah.
Oh, I do like the match itself. I appreciate the angle. I do think a lot of people are overreacting about their response to Buddy and Aaliyah together. It's a TV show. She's clearly with an age-appropriate person in real life. This isn't real. Relax. This is a story on a TV show, and if you watch any telenovela or any soap opera or any fucking show on HBO, shit happens in these storylines, and in this case, it's going to be okay. No one's actually being damaged here, I don't believe. But I would like to see Dominic and Murphy tagged up with a Rey Mysterio manager, I believe.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. I think it'd be really good, especially give Seth some time away. Seth's got the new baby on the way. Could definitely use some time to be a Papa Seth. I forget what I was going to say here. Yeah, Grim Reaper says, and then pointless aggression hats. We should make a pointless aggression hat. Some beanies at least, right? It's wintertime.
Not here.
Yeah, out here we wouldn't know it's wintertime. It's still 90 degrees outside.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was going to say, the big rumor on this, and I don't want to delve too much into it because, like I said, I don't like to talk about other people's rumors. I like for us to make up our own rumors. But the big rumor is that they're going to do an Aaliyah and Buddy Murphy wedding scenario here. Do you think that we get there? And what do you think if they did?
That's what I guessed like weeks ago. Oh my god.
Kev, you want to hit that one?
Oh. Why is
Better
that my
this end this
question?
Number 12!
I don't know. I've always think wedding angles in wrestling have been played out for quite some time. I don't know how or why you would get to there.
I don't want it.
Where's the conflict? You know, because there has to be some kind of conflict there.
Yeah, and as much as I defend the idea of the storyline being TV and relax everyone, I don't think weddings in wrestling work very often, if ever. I can think of only two ever. I can think of Macho and Liz,
Macho.
and I can think of the Triple H and Stephanie, because I got a lot of heat for Triple H. It didn't age well, but it got a lot of heat then.
Yeah. Don't watch it now.
Yeah. And I would say that the Lana Bobby Lashley wedding segment was successful, but the storyline wasn't. I just don't see a purpose to get there. I feel like there's too much of a risk of destruction. There's no point. I don't see any benefit coming out of it. I say just stay away from that. Let them be a couple. Let it work itself out or just disappear. It can fizzle. It doesn't got to be a thing. I think it's an appropriate way to get to a point where we can team Buddy and Dominic together. And when you really think about it, to me, Aaliyah and Buddy has all been about getting Buddy and Dominic together.
Mm-hmm.
If it works. If it works.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, excuse me, if they go that route, I think it'd be great. You know, I think WWE's already put a lot of their faith in Dominic for him to be, you know, the future.
Yeah.
Or a big part of the future. You know, so to give him the jump start they did, and then pull him back a bit and be like, okay, now, you know, work your way up and, you know, earn your stripes. You know, a tag team would be cool.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the greats came from tag teams.
I agree. Let's see. We got the Fatal 4-Way, Liv, Tamina, Natalya, Chelsea Green. The two big takeaways here was Chelsea Green got injured in her first match on SmackDown. She's supposed to be coming live to SmackDown and debuting. She gets injured almost immediately and breaks her wrist. That's the second time she's broken her wrist on a debut. Really unfortunate. You hate to see it. And then Liv Morgan gets the win. So now we have Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and I don't remember the third person on the SmackDown team. It was a sneaky win. I remember that.
I don't
remember. I cannot remember. But we have that SmackDown team coming together, and I like the idea of Liv winning it.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna go Chelsea Green's way because, you know, somebody making their debut, you think they're throwing them on the team and giving them a push.
I think it's very possible that that's where they were going, and it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I guess that brings us to the unsanctioned match. I think they did the Drew and Jay unsanctioned match to get a match out of Drew on SmackDown for no good reason. I did not feel like Jay taking such a beating from Drew was very helpful to the Jay storyline. It just makes him a bigger Ponzi. But I was told that it does make him a bigger disappointment to the family. And right now the story they're telling is consistently that Jay is trying to prove he deserves to be there and that he keeps disappointing the family. So I get that. I see that. I don't think I care to see it through Drew, though. I mean, Jay just got a big win through Daniel Bryan. I want to see Jay overcome something, I guess, you know?
Yeah. You know the thing that bothered me the most about this, besides Drew being on SmackDown, is I forgot what they call it this year, but last year was the wild card rule. You know, now why all of a sudden, hey, I want this match, you know, Adam Pearce. You know, well, you're a Raw superstar. This can't happen. But I can make it an unsanctioned match with a referee. I was like, I thought the whole part of an unsanctioned match was, you know, not necessarily no rules, but it's supposed to be, you know, off camera type of thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, they don't mention the wild card rule. You know, I forgot what they called it, you know, a couple months ago. Oh, it only happens, you know, a few times a year where somebody from Raw goes to SmackDown and vice versa.
Oh, yeah.
But now it's not. It's, hey, you're not supposed to be here, but I can pull some strings for you. It just, yeah, just everything surrounding Drew right now is just, blah.
Yeah, not a fan. Not digging it. Let's see. Grim Reaper says
And it's
Belair.
Bianca Belair by there. Oh,
yeah, she's the other one, which makes sense. She should be. But yeah, and that was how that show ended, and Roman looking disappointed in Drew and telling him get a title and maybe I'll give you the time of day. But that brings us to Raw, I think. Was there anything else on SmackDown you wanted to hit on?
No.
So Raw is kind of a funny beast. I didn't think it was bad overall. I didn't like. Oh, man, I didn't like chunks of this. It's already. Drew is Randy's doing so good, but it still opens with Drew for some fucking reason. He's not your champ, man. He's not your champ.
Yeah.
And he's coming out the way he's coming out. Where do you want to start with this, man? A lot happened here on Raw.
Well, I had the same exact reaction that I did with SmackDown. As soon as Drew's music hit, I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
come on, give it a break. He doesn't need to open every fucking show.
That's what killed Roman.
Yeah.
Remember we used to talk about that? We talked about it on the show, I believe, even, where every single Raw bana, bana, is the first thing you hear after every Raw intro. And now you hear the goddamn bagpipes. It's too much. Let someone else open the show. Like maybe, I don't know, your fucking champion.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm getting all hyped. That's pointless aggression. You can get pointless aggression shirts at prowrestlingtees.com/wrestling on the rocks. Pointless aggression.
We got there. We got the promo in.
We got one.
Or the plug.
Kev, I don't know where to start on Raw, man. It was all over the place.
Yeah. I mean, I guess go down the list.
Just hit it. All right. Well, Drew did his thing, and it was annoying. Randy came out and saved the segment. Man, why is this backwards? I pulled up the worst review before I did this one to look at my list here. Okay, let's just talk about Drew. Let's talk about Drew, and we'll talk about the rest of the show. People online loved him. Out of here. I saw like 3 or 4 people who always shill for everything that every company does, that it's the best thing the company could ever do. Mm-hmm. They were loving on Drew winning the title. I saw people who loved Drew McIntyre who went, weird, okay. I don't think the world was lit on fire by Drew winning this title at the end. I don't. But I do think this. I think this is what they were doing. Because here's the question. Why did Randy lose the title, or win the title, if he was going to lose it before Survivor Series? Yeah.
Back to who he won it from. Because a lot of times they'll do the, hey, drop it to this guy, and then this guy's going to drop it to somebody else. Quick turnaround.
Yeah.
But it was like Drew drops it, Randy gets it, Drew picks it up again. And on the last show, I mentioned maybe it was just to give Randy 14 before Mania or whatever,
I think he puts him at 15, doesn't it?
No, it puts him at 14. He tied
14?
Triple H.
Okay.
But maybe it was 15. I don't remember. Anyway, that's the only thing I could come up with, because I don't understand why you would drop it and then be like, okay, now it might be Roman versus Randy at Survivor Series, and then Drew gets it again, and it's like, why go through this stupid roller coaster of it? Just have, don't get me wrong, I love that Randy won it, but now it just makes it seem pointless.
Here's what I think. Here's why I think it happened. And I saw some really, to me, hopeful yet shitty views. People who were saying, look at, this is why it's so great. And it seemed to me just to be so lost. Where they're all like, look at, there's this one guy. I love him on Twitter. He's so positive about stuff. I think he's a great follow. I forget the name. But I'm number 12. He put out a whole video that was 30 seconds. He goes, here's why it is. He goes, it's so obvious. I don't think people get it. It's so obvious. Randy has to win because the champion, you can't build yourself up if you're not down and out. So Drew had to be down and out. He goes, if we didn't have Randy win at Hell in a Cell, we wouldn't have the moment tonight. It was all for tonight, so we could celebrate tonight. Look how the internet exploded with fever. That the internet loves Drew McIntyre. Okay, we have 2 different internet feeds. I'll tell you that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mine did not explode. It was a whole lot of, okay, or congratulations from the same old, who would say that to about everything that Drew does. And as much as I respect Drew McIntyre, I do not care for his character, and I do not cheer for his character. And I see a lot of back and forth online about it too. I don't only follow people who love Drew McIntyre all in all. I feel like this guy might. Here's the deal. He was like, it's the same thing as like in any relationship. He goes, imagine telling your girlfriend, oh, I forgot I didn't get you a gift, only because you know you're going to surprise her by taking her to a restaurant and proposing to her or something. He goes, you have to take away before you give. And I was like, yes, except for it's like you took me to my least favorite restaurant that you love. Right? It's like, oh, I forgot to give you something. Don't worry, there's a surprise. And you take me to a restaurant that I don't like, but it's your fucking favorite. And you order the thing that I've never liked and always told you I'm kind of allergic to. You are so excited for you to shit on me and you don't even pay attention to it. This is what I think they were actually doing, though. I don't think it was any of that. I don't think it was so we could celebrate on a fucking Monday night. This is what it was. They needed Drew to work with Randy for another month or two. Because Drew's got a lot to learn as a champion. We've been saying it since he became champion. We're watching OJT. He's going through all these legends because he has to figure out how to do this at a high level. If they kept Randy in this feud any longer without winning the title, he looks like a chump. He's just a weak dude who can't win it, and he can't accept that he's not better than Drew. But by giving Randy the title, you allow Drew to keep the chase on, keep the pressure on. You can add a little bit of fluff with the Money in the Bank, but really nothing of substance. And now you can say, since he's hot potatoing this title between Randy and Drew, well, Drew must be equal to Randy. And Randy was just talking about how he's a legend and the best wrestler in the world. So Drew must be equal to Randy if they go back and forth with the title the way that they do. This is like Rock and Austin. I don't feel that that's what it is, but I feel like that's what they were presenting.
No. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that because, especially, what was it, 2-3 years ago when Randy couldn't win the title off of Jinder.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And it was like, what the fuck? Yeah. I was so pissed off about that. I was like, it's fucking Jinder Mahal. Like, ugh.
Shanti.
But, yeah. But, you know, I could definitely see that. But at the same time, I don't think I'd be interested in any more Drew.
Okay.
Oh shit!
All
There
good.
it goes.
No, we're good.
Did you spill?
Nope.
He used the glass one time and it's broken.
Everything's good. All good.
I don't think I'm interested in seeing any more Drew versus Randy. You know, if you're gonna keep the title on Drew, have him go up against somebody else. Does he need to learn from Randy? Of course.
It was right next to the mic. I agree. I think they wanted Randy to teach Drew more. They weren't done working together. And I don't know anything. I know nothing. And that's what makes me a wrestling journalist. I know nothing. I make it up as I go along, and I just wildly guess into the wind like a fart. Because I don't know. And none of us know because none of us are there. But here's what I'm going to tell you is fact.
It's peeing in the wind, not farting.
It's peeing on the electric fence.
So
it makes me...
electric fence.
And this is... I'll tell you, this is fact. Randy Orton went to Vince McMahon himself and said, Drew needs more time. I got more to teach him. He's not quite there yet. They said, well, then we're going to give you the title and extend this another month. And he's going, I think that's what's best for business. That happened for sure. There's no way that didn't happen. You know how I know? Because I don't know what happened, and I'm a wrestling journalist. I can make that shit up now.
Fact.
Give me what I want. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me in general if there was a whole like, hey, Drew's really good. There's some things I want to fine tune him on. Give me another month. And it was like, sure, we'll flip you the title so it doesn't look like you're chasing nothing for no reason. And then plus it pops him a little more. I think that we do get in the next year or two Orton going for a 16 or 17. I saw someone say this online, and we'll throw it out here next. I want to know what you think. They said I want to see Randy Orton versus John Cena at WrestleMania with Ric Flair in the corner for the 17th title win. And I said, how do they both show up without the title? And then they said, well, he'd get another small championship reign in between. And I was like, okay, I get that. But how do they show up?
Into WrestleMania?
Yeah. They can't
And
battle for 17 if they're both at 16.
Yeah, they can. Yeah, they can.
One of them has to hold
You
the
get
title.
you get the classic tournament. Somebody vacates the title. Somebody's injured.
You would have to do that, and that would be such a fucking thing, dude.
It would be such a waste of whoever vacates the title.
Dude, can you imagine? Fake
you
cancer.
Can't get there. They already did it once.
I only say that because of the bullshit people who were trying to report on if Ramen was kayfabing or not, which I thought was all bullshit. That's the joke of it. Relax, everyone.
I fucking hate that people sit out there and be like, "Oh, it's kayfabe." No, like that.
Do you think
that
this
one
is
wasn't.
real or not?
That-
Fuck out of here.
I got it, guys.
No, I don't think they would ever do that. I don't think they would ever do that. I don't think they ever have. I don't think they ever will. But that's the only way you get there is if they both have 16 and you have some fucking tournament. And I even said, I was like, so what? So Randy's holding the title to maintain 16 or Cena gets 17? And I said, no, there's a title change in between. And I was like, but then who shows up with the title? Like,
yeah.
And I wasn't trying to talk this person down or anything. This is a person I actually really like online. I think is a really cool Twitter presence. A lot of fun going back and forth with them.
I could just see you like walking back and forth in your living room. Stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
But there's this moment of all like, yes, that sounds amazing, but how the fuck do you do that? How do you get to a point where you have two 16-time champions where only one walks out 17-time champion without somebody walking in with a title? Like, can you imagine if it's not even a vacated title, it's a stripping of the title? Like Vince McMahon comes out like the week before WrestleMania and says, you know what? I've decided this match will be better if it's for the title. I'm taking it away from Kofi Kingston. Just rips it out of his hand. The guy's like, what?
Well,
it's just mine now.
Well, I was going to say, unless they... Unless they do another, somebody 2 belts.
Yeah.
Like a Drew 2 belts. And then they're like, no, pick one or the other. Or...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there can be ways to play with it. It's just a fine line on who they give it to and who they strip it away from.
Mm-hmm. It would be, nuts. I don't know how you get there reasonably. And I know also right now that's really booking out because that could be 1 or 2 years down the road. In the chat real quick, we have TP Poker coming in saying hello and good evening. TP Poker.
Hello, TP.
Always good to see you, sir. Grim Reaper does say I would be fine with Miz cashing in this weekend to go into WrestleMania with the title at Survivor Series. Yeah, I'd be fine with that too. TP Poker says hello, and then Grim say hi. Okay. I don't know how you reasonably get to a WrestleMania match with 2 16-time champions where one of them's walking out 17-time champion if one of them doesn't hold the title. I don't even think realistically
this is how you do it.
You could do a tournament to the WrestleMania. That seems ridiculous.
Well, no, this is what you do. Is you have Triple H get 15. And then if you strip Triple H of the title, he's a part of the company. You know what I mean? So the fan base wouldn't be, I think, as pissed off. But I think if you do, maybe not a tournament, but, you find a way to have Randy and John, each sitting at 16. You could even have, like I said, you have Cena saying, hey, I'll challenge you for that. Or Randy. Randy and Triple H have a lot of history. Hey, I want a shot at that. I want a shot at that. And then Triple H fakes an injury.
Well, even then, I don't think you'd have to. I think it's wrestling. I think you could even go, I don't mean to cut you off, but I think you'll be on board with me here. with Triple H being such a company man, I think you could have Triple H take the title off somebody, see this feud brewing between Cena and Randy, and have them both kind of saying like, no, it's not worth it. And I could see Triple H saying, I'll lay my title down between the two of you and let you fight it out.
Yeah.
Because no one would be against that. Triple H can vacate the title for a championship match. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And no one would question it.
Vince gives them the option. Either you're the WWE champion or you have to. It's NXT. One or the other.
Yeah. You can't
have to
be
drop
doing all
one
these
of them.
things. He could even say, you know what, I'm too busy for this anyways. I can't even do this. But what
Yeah.
I want to see, and he goes,
I don't-
what the world wants to see is you two battle it out for 17, and I'm going to put my title on the line for it. I will vacate my title if you two fight over it.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see that working. And in that same WrestleMania, Triple H versus KO for a retirement match. Let's hit the chat real quick. TV Poker said, did anybody see that Alexa Bliss got engaged to some dopey singer? I'm going to say yes, we saw that. We talked about it at the top of the show, and we are in love with him. He is so amazing. Grammy Reaper says, also LOL to AJ saying he didn't know his associate spoke English. Yes, that happened here on Raw. We're going to talk about that too. That was awesome. And then the producer said that you mean Dreamy Singer. And he said, yes, Dreamy. That was a typo. Damn you, Steve Jobs. Autocorrect, always messing up what we mean. But yeah, we saw she got engaged. We are very happy for them as a couple. We're also very happy for Alexa and Bray. She is both kayfabe and real life relationship goals. She's figured it out, and we haven't. We're all just jealous. Jelly. So as long as we're on the topic of Drew McIntyre, let's keep talking about Drew McIntyre. Let's keep chipping away at this tree.
Yeah.
So he wins his title, and I think that it was a means of making Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre seem like they're on the same level, as opposed to one of them seem like they're on a different level than each other.
Yeah.
What did you think about Drew McIntyre getting his kilt and a sword back? It's a little weird to me that Sheamus is like, hey, I went and visited your mom. Maybe we boned and maybe we didn't. Maybe I stuck it to your mom. You know how things have been. Your mom's always looked at me. I got red hair and big muscles. What do you think your mom's going to do? He goes, enough about your mom.
I gave her my Claymore and she gave me yours.
Yeah. Yeah. One Claymore for another. 3, 2, 1, Shamo. Ice, Shamey. Doom, 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 doom. Yo, your mom is cool as ice. Shamey boned Drew's mom. Maybe, maybe not. It's hard to say. But
He had to get the family sword from her one way or another.
he wasn't just walking
Either
into that
boned her
house
or
and saying, I'm
killed
going to
her.
rummage through your kid's shit. He's not like, hey, I'm coming in to just go steal a trunk of stuff and a sword. I'll be right back. He's got to fucking finesse that situation, dude. What are we, stupid? Put up number 12.
Like I said, he either boned her or killed her.
I think it's entirely possible Sheamus might listen to our show at some point in the world. And if he does, I just want to say, Sheamus, we're huge fans, and we only joke because we love. But dude, did you bone his mom? So we got Sheamus, a.k.a. Stifler, and Drew McIntyre. Shamo grabs the trunk and also a box of Drew's things.
You tried way too hard for that.
Drew opens it up. He finds his old underwear and socks, and he goes, this is amazing. He smells it all and says it's never been washed a day in its life. He turns around and he goes, oh! Oh! Oh!
He doesn't do that.
Oh!
No one does that.
He does that. And Shamo's there gripping the elongated sword of Drew McIntyre
Sword.
given to him by Drew's mom via also sword. This is how I saw it play out. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. This is pretty much how the show went.
It's like the one that's on the
Yeah.
chest of what's his name?
Yes, it looks a lot like the boner on Brock's chest. Yet in real life and in Shamo's hands.
Oh.
Shamey hands it over to Drew and says, grab a hold of this, big boy. Drew says,
Two
don't mind
hands,
if I
please.
do. Yeah. 2 hands. Don't mind if I do.
Two
And you know what? I'll grab the sword too. He says. Sheamus is like, blocked. TV Poker says he showed his mother his shillelagh. I believe it. I think mothers don't just give up child's things, especially not swords. Swords. So now we have Drew getting all choked up. This whole Sheamus Drew thing is getting really fucking weird because I can't figure out what's happening. Is Shamo turning babyface? Is Drew turning heel? Are they going to be partners? Are they going to be enemies? I don't know. But all I know is Sheamus went to Drew's mother's house for recreational purposes and came home with all of Drew's belongings. Drew then put on his old underwear and came out to main event Raw. I got that right?
I will. Yes. I will say, I was actually kind of excited, or glad, rather, to see Drew in something else besides the whole Brock Lesnar logo with the Claymore through it. I think he should have dropped that, months ago.
One more time? Say that? You kind of broke up.
I said, I was glad to see him wearing something that didn't have Brock Lesnar's logo still on.
Yes.
Like I've never understood why he still has the Brock Lesnar skull with the sword through it.
Yes.
Whoa, that one was tight.
Yeah. Number 12. I agree, 100%. I've been wondering for a long time why he's still got that fucking Brock thing if it's so little of his story at this point. So I think Drew wanted a new look. Now here's the thing.
Next he's gonna have the sword through a viper.
The sword through a viper, as they say. So Drew McIntyre had an interview with Ryan Satin. Love-hate relationship with Ryan Satin. So in this interview, he says, I was just thinking I'd walk out in a kilt. But obviously he likes to take it a little bit further. And suddenly we had the sword. Then we had the pyro. He was very hands-on with this, McIntyre said, referring to his boss. So he's talking about Vince. I was thinking I would walk out in a kilt. Obviously, Vince takes it a little bit further, and suddenly we have a sword, a pyro. He goes, he then spilled the beans. He goes, the sword that I had was actually Vince's sword, the champ confessed, before mentioning that the sword had been gifted to Vince by his daughter Stephanie and son-in-law Triple H. So Drew was also looking for a new look. He wanted something that wasn't quite the Brock Lesnar logo. He thought, I'll come out in a kilt, do this full circle. And Vince is like, I'll give you my sword my kids gave me. He's like, what? And he goes, and then you're going to jab it in the ground and I'm going to blow up this whole fucking Thunderdome. How does Drew say no to that? So I'm on board with that. I get that. Go ahead.
Stab it through the set.
Yeah. From the window to the wow. So I get it. And I don't think that the entrance was lame or anything. I actually thought it was very, very cool.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say about it before I ask you this question?
No, I thought it was cool. It was very Braveheart-ish. USC does it before their games, when they had crowds and stuff like that, where they put it through their logo, the sword in the ground. It represents a lot.
Yeah.
So, I thought it was kind of cool. I was like, cool, but it's Drew type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It to me looked like, oh, they're getting ready for the next video game. But here's my real question. He comes out now in a kilt. He's got bagpipes. He's got a Highlander sword. He sticks it in the ground to get explosions. What makes this different than the Kabuki Warriors?
How do you mean?
There was a lot of backlash for the Kabuki Warriors being racially insensitive because not all Japanese are Kabukis, and they had, quote, racially insensitive music, and they came out acting like stereotypical Japanese. Bear in mind, I'm going to say this right now, I love the Kabuki Warriors. I thought it was great. I wasn't a big fan of Kari Sane until the Kabuki Warriors, where I thought she really came into her own and started performing on a different level next side of Asuka. I thought it was fantastic and phenomenal. Yes. I have no problems with this intro, but I only see people talking about how amazing this intro is, and I just think it's a little short-sighted or a little maybe blinding of yourself to say it's completely different. Now we have a Scottish guy coming out with bagpipes and a kilt with a sword and fire behind him. Like you just said, it was very Braveheart. Is that not a little racially insensitive to Scottish people? Are they all Braveheart? Do they all use bagpipes and kilts? Like, I'm not saying they don't. I'm not saying they do. I'm saying I liked the presentation, but I'm a little confused as this idea that we're going to separate these things as two different realms.
Well, see, that goes to a lot of, just in today's society, with double standards, like, across the board. You know, and I didn't think the Kabuki Warriors thing was racially insensitive, and I don't think Drew's thing is. You know, if the performer's okay with it, then go with it.
Yeah.
You know,
100%.
If they say, hey, no, I don't like this, and then they do it still, yeah, maybe. You know, that could be, you know, racially insensitive and stuff like that. But, you know, for the fans speaking out on it, like I said, at the end of the day, the performer's doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and if the performers don't like it, that's, you know, if we find out, Asuka didn't like it, or Kyrie or Drew even didn't like it, then that might be racially insensitive. But at the same time, you know, on the Raw talk afterward, saw a clip where Sheamus was just like, hey, you know, I wanted to give him motivation, but get him back to his roots and stuff like that. And at the same time, if you're proud of your heritage and this is, you know, who you are, and, you know, let's get back to your roots, then fine. You know, I don't see a problem with it at all.
I don't either, and I think it's very true to the whole tribal chief and Samoan culture as well, with them allowing that to be part of the storyline as well. I do think there's a comfort level with the performer that makes a big difference. And I mean, much the same as like how Becky Lynch did not want her being Irish to be the primary focus of her run, and it switched away from that pretty early on. That I think that it's fair for a performer to say, I don't want that to define me, and I don't want that to be me. But I also understand the idea and the pressure of trying to do something to make your boss happy so you keep your job, you're living your dream, all that stuff. I get that. I get it. But I also think that if the performer is into it and likes it, and it's a celebration in their own mind, then I don't personally have a problem with it. And like I said, I don't have a problem with the Kabuki Warriors. I don't have a problem with Drew. I have neither problem with either one of them. But I did think it was a bit curious that when the Kabuki Warriors first debuted, I'm watching Twitter light up about how offensive this was, and seeing Drew do this was, oh, this is incredible. Is this a masculinity thing versus a feminine thing? Like, it was just a little weird to me. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not trying to push buttons or toe the line or any of that stuff. I loved them both. I really did. And at first, I kind of laughed at the Kabuki Warriors thing. So I was like, that's a bit of a weird name and this and that. But, you know, I guess Asuka wears a mask. But I think, like you said, if the performers are behind it and believe in it, it could be something. It could be something, you know?
Yeah. You know, and, you know, even going back to, like, Eddie Guerrero. You know, he came out with the whole lie, cheat, steal thing. I didn't think every Mexican lied, cheated, and stole stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so I think the only thing, you know, racially insensitive that I've felt with WWE, and they've done it forever, is how they always group a lot of times the same races together.
Yeah.
You know, like the Hurt Business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Nation of Domination was a thing, and then they threw in Owen Hart, and I was like, all right, whatever. But that's the only time I've thought of, hey, this might be racially insensitive. Like, hey, all the African Americans, let's put them in the Hurt business, and stuff like that. But that to me has never been, I'm not, huge on Twitter. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about that. And that's the only time where I've kind of been like, hey, throw in, mix it up a little bit. But, same with the Lucha Dragons. It's like, oh, the Lucha Dragons, this and that. And it's like, okay, maybe it's their style, whatever. But, like I said, when it's consistently, races divided, that's when I'm kind of like, all right, stop that crap.
Yeah, I agree. I think those are the times we kind of
getting there. Yeah, but like I said, with Drew's thing and the Kabuki Warriors thing, like, if you're paying homage to your heritage and your culture, and you're okay with it as the performer, then great, do it.
Yeah, 100%.
If, like I said, if you find out the performer had a problem with it, then that's stupid, and that sucks.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't have any problem with that. I just think that it's peculiar, and all I'm trying to do is call out the bullshit of the internet wrestling community at times. I think this was the bullshit thing of it. Mm-hmm. Not that I thought they were wrong on it. I thought they were right. This was cool. But why do we have to shit on the women when they came out? Because we thought it was one thing or the other. You know what I mean? Like, maybe we let things flesh out a little bit. Grim Reaper says it. It's all good until he comes out with half blue face paint. Once Drew comes out. Just screaming freedom. And we're all like, this is good. This feels right. I want Sheamus right behind him just going, Bravo number 12. Yeah, but I'm on board with that. I agree with that. Like I said, I think that the flippy floppies with the title was to put Drew on Randy's level. I don't think, to me, I see it that way, but I also understand where they're going with it and why they're doing it. The dude looks like an action figure, and he sounds incredible. The dude's got a great voice. Like, just from an audio standpoint, the dude sounds badass. I don't like his promos. I don't like what he says. I'm not a fan of his personality as it is, and I apologize because I'm sure the guy is super cool to be around. I don't think me and him be friends. I don't think we would. I think me and Sami could be friends. You know what I mean? I don't think me and Drew would be friends.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of an asshole. I think he and I would get along.
Yeah,
but
you guys might. I don't like most of your friends.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
I always go to your house and see your friends and go, oh.
I'm going to this guy again. Whoa. But the other thing, speaking of Drew too, real quick, is I absolutely hated his promo when he dropped that, like, 6th grade, and I don't want to shit on the 6th graders by saying this, but this absolute childish line of, then we throw it up and, he throws up the 3 and read between the lines, and I was like, where did this come from?
Out of here with that.
Yeah, I was like, you're on, things have changed between now and the Attitude Era. You can't just flip people off. It'll be blurred. Fine, I understand that. But, like, you're one for countdowns. Count up, for all the haters out there on the internet. Like, first, I like to prove them wrong. Second, I like to do this. And third, I want them to read between the lines.
Yeah. Cool,
that makes sense. When you all of a sudden you're like, we throw up a 3. When do you throw up a 3 besides when you count down? Like, that,
forced.
Like, read between the lines. Yeah, I was like, oh, God. Like I said, use your fingers beforehand before, like, if you always threw up 3, fine. I could understand it maybe, but definitely forced, like you said.
You wouldn't even punish one of your kids for saying that.
No, because I would tell him, this is the proper way. Just read this one line.
Look, you little asshole, you're doing it all wrong.
You don't need to read between the lines. Just read this one.
Which, by the way, for anybody listening for the first time or ever or all the time, I don't know if we ever covered it. Kev's kid was like, what, 3 or 4 at the time? He taught every kid in his daycare the too sweet symbol, and when he would leave, he would too sweet all the other kids. His kid's badass.
He did.
Yeah.
It caught me by surprise the first time I picked him up.
Yeah.
And they're like, see ya, and then he just holds him up and he like walks down the line and just too sweets everyone. Brought a goddamn tear to my eye.
Yeah. That's my
Like,
boy.
I don't think I do a lot of things right, but I did this one right.
Yeah. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than the other one that flipped everyone off and did the Austin out of his preschool. Like, see ya, suckers.
That was so good.
What's funny is I was actually thinking about that earlier today, and it made me laugh.
Dude, I was dying. He did it in the house when I was there the one time. We're like, we're gonna do this thing,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, and he just boom throws up the fingers and waddles out of there, and I was like, what? And you're like, he's been doing that, and I was like, the fuck.
Yeah. But he had a bad habit of pointing with his middle fingers, and instead of his pointer fingers, so he would always do the middle fingers. And when he walked out of his preschool and did that, see ya, suckers! I was like, oh, that's a problem.
You're like, oh, we found the line.
Yeah.
You're all like, by God, we got a Hellraiser.
Yeah.
It's the toughest SOB in all of preschool.
Did the head bob and everything.
Yeah. Arizona rattlesnake.
Yeah.
So funny, dude. So good. I think that's all I had to say about Drew and Randy. Was there other stuff in there you wanted to hit on?
No, I definitely wanted to talk about the read between the line promo.
Dude, when I heard it too, I was like, what is he, 12? Like,
yeah. Like I said, I want to say a 6th grade joke, but I don't want to shit on 6th graders.
yeah, some of them are clever.
Yeah.
Read between the lines. And he did it wrong too. You saw the way he held out his fingers, right?
Nah, I didn't.
He held them out really far apart, so it was like a huge W. And said read between the lines.
Yeah?
I was like, you're supposed to keep them close so they're lines.
Yeah.
Those are fucking cones coming off your hands.
There's nothing between the lines.
Yeah, there's no lines. You didn't do it right. I was like, get the fuck out of here, man. I think I could beat Drew McIntyre in a fist-to-fist fight. Put up on number 12.
Yeah. So you wake up the next morning.
Yeah. Good news, producer fell asleep. We can talk about braiding my hair again.
All right, so. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, I did pull up to your house like, what, twice? I was like, I need to see your wife. I need my hair braided.
Yeah, can she help me out with this?
Yeah. I remember coming home from work one day and I had a perfect Becky braid, and she goes, "Who did that?" I was like, "Some girl at work," and she's all like,
Yeah.
"Oh, why didn't you ask me to do it?" And I was like, "'Cause you don't know how to do side braids." She goes, "You don't think I know?" I was like, "Do you know how to do it? I'll undo it right now." She goes, "Yeah, I know how to do it." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I undid the whole thing. She couldn't do it. She couldn't put it back.
I remember one of the times it made me laugh because you came over and I was like, "Oh, Chris is here, you know, we're gonna hang out," and you like got your hair done and then you just like left. "Oh, I have to go to this thing. I wanted it done before this." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, right. I was gonna see my buddy, but it's weird.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know what's gonna be funny?
I guess both these drinks will just have to be mine.
Yeah, you're sitting there with 2 beers. Okay, just tilt them both back. Okay. It's gonna be funny. It like takes her a couple days to go through the show to like make highlight clips and stuff. I can't wait for like 3 days down the line to be like, "What was that shit you were talking about with the braids?"
You get a text at work?
Yeah.
You fucking asshole.
So you thought this was
you
funny?
guys did talk about it.
Yeah. No, I didn't think it was funny one bit. Oh, you didn't? Because you said it. No, it's not funny. Don't even clip it. I'm not gonna. Let's see. I think we only got to hit a couple things and we'll be good. But I do think that. What do you think about? So Nia Jax reportedly injured Mandy Rose last week, and so this week is why they rolled her out and did the injury angle right away. I mean, God.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
I know Nia's got a bad reputation for hurting people and stuff, and I see people defend her and people don't, and I know that we have openly not been fans of Nia Jax on any level, but there's got to be a point of like, if enough people are injured while in the ring with you, that's got to be something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At this point, the majority of the roster has been injured at one time or another at the hands of Nia Jax.
Do you think that's the reason why Nia keeps putting Lana through the table? One of these times, they gotta hurt her.
Here's the other deal. Nia Jax is the only person who's breaking that table.
I know.
Dude, how many times in how many other episodes have they not been able to break that table in the same show? Drew and Randy couldn't break that table. Fucking, I want to say Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso couldn't break that table. And in similar shows, Lana and Nia, every time, broken table. Does Nia legitimately weigh more than Drew and Randy combined? And I'm not trying to say that as a shitty dig, but it's just like, is the angle that much more imperative? And maybe it is. Maybe the way that it's structured, you got to hit it from the right angle to get it to fall. But it is crazy to me that every fucking week, Nia breaks that fucking table, no problem. That table's going to break, don't worry. But every other fucking person, forget it. It's not happening. That table's not breaking. Like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't know how the announce table disassembles. So, I'm just trying to think of, back in the day, watching people go through it and how sometimes they would hit it and like bounce and then it would break.
Oh yeah.
And maybe you do have to hit it at an angle. And maybe with her, going backwards, it's perfect.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. I really think that there's like pegs in there that keep it up real tight, and if you go straight down on it, it's not going to do it.
Yeah.
So I think Lana's at 8 times through the table. That would mean the SmackDown could be 9 times through the table, which means at Survivor Series it would be 10 times through the table. I think 2 things. One, Lana's going to be the sole survivor at Survivor Series. She's going to get put through the table by her own teammate and not be disqualified and still be in the match. She's going to be forgotten about. No one's going to think it was her. Someone else is going to pull out the victory, they think, and then she's going to come up like a phoenix from the ashes behind, just the same as she did in that Rumble. And it's another one of those, you forgot about Lana, we forgot about Lana, and Lana pulls out the victory. Boom, you also get 10-time Lana. I think Lana comes out with gear just like Owen Hart's from before with the 2 slammies, but a broken table coming in at angles with a 10X in the middle. What do you think?
It would be interesting. I don't know if I want to put her on an Owen Hart level with gear or anything like that.
All right, but the next Elite figure comes with a commentary table, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would have to.
Yeah. Green Reaper says she's not like most girls. That's why she can break a table.
Yeah. But the other thing is, I thought there was going to be a little more clarity with. First of all, that they say Mandy got hurt, they got her away. Cool, I just wanted them to say, hey, we took X-rays, she's not going to be able to compete or whatever. Yeah. But for Dana Brooke to take the one little shove into the equipment thing, and they're like, oh, she's out, like immediately. I thought that was a little weird.
Well,
and I thought they were gonna
She took the shoulder thing, but then she got attacked by Reckoning in the back.
Oh yeah.
Which, by the way, I posted just before Raw a drawing I did of Reckoning, and then she came out and showed up on Raw. So I think that's good luck. So.
Yeah. They fell.
Yep.
Clear. Do you think Reckoning is going to be a part of the Women's Survivor Series team?
Well, no, they announced who the replacements were going to be. They removed Dana and Mandy, and they said it's going to be Peyton and Lacey.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that they announced that.
Adam Pierce came out in some weird Charlie interview and said that. Here's the thing that gets me on it is it makes me think a couple of things. One, Peyton said on Twitter that she would never be in a tag team that wasn't with Billie Kay, but she's now clearly been paid up with Lacey Evans. I think the move was to move forward with Mandy and Dana Brooke towards the tag team championships, win or lose.
Yeah.
And clearly Mandy got injured, so they just removed Dana too, so they could put a new tag team in there. Boom, Peyton and Lacey, because they're clearly a tag team, right?
Yeah. No, I thought 100% that they put them in there to, something's going to happen at Survivor Series, and they're going to be at odds, and they get the next title shot. But for them to immediately throw in Peyton and Lacey, I'm like, who wants to see that?
Yeah, 100%. It's just like, what's our other tag team? Because we're going to move forward with this tag team storyline, which also makes sense because Nia and Shayna as tag champions isn't going anywhere, so they need a tag team to go against it. And so I bet you now you're going to have Peyton and Lacey going toward the tag title, and I think that's shitty. This is from a person who is not a fan of the Iconics. I do not enjoy them together, and I do feel, to be completely honest, like Billie Kay drags down Peyton Royce. I think she'd be better off without her as a singles. But I don't think teaming her with Lacey is the answer. And I do think that if you're going to have a tag team, it's got to be the Iconics, regardless of if I like them or not, or whatever I feel personally. I'm allowed my opinion, and they're allowed their lives.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion is I don't like it. I don't care. They're still allowed to do their thing. I'm not going to tell them to stop. I'm not going to be pissed and tweet a bunch. Don't do this. I hate it. Whatever. Do your thing. I'm just going to be off to the side drinking my Parapa number 12.
I'm trying to think of what was the reason for Peyton and Billie to be separated again.
They were in a match against the Riot Squad, and if they lost, whichever team lost could never tag team again. Grim Reaper does say Peyton and Lacey are posting a lot together on social media as well, and that's true. On their IG, they had a couple of stories together on both of their stories that were about each other's shoes. I didn't watch all of it with audio. I saw clips and saw like the little captions, but it had to do with like Lacey spending $10 on her shoes and Peyton spending like over $1,000 on her shoes, and it was this whole thing. So they are posting a lot more together, like they're meant to be together. Peyton, I think, probably from a personal standpoint, doesn't want any part of it, but from a professional standpoint, you do what you got to do. I don't know, man. I don't think Lacey and Peyton is the answer. I don't.
No. Well, I was just thinking, especially since it's clear to me, at least, or I think, once again, is I think it would have been, a little more interesting if Adam Pierce came out and said, hey, breaking news, there's been a trade between Raw and SmackDown, and Billie Kay is now, back on Raw, and, so you have that solidified tag team together.
Or even, I'd have been fine if they said, we're going to determine it a battle royal. The final two people will be in the thing. And then you have it be accidentally Lacey and Peyton. And then look at each other, and Peyton goes, oh, fuck this again. You know what I mean? If you're going to have...
Lacey and Billie. I mean, not Lacey and Billie, but Peyton and Billie. If they're moving forward with this tag team, run against the champions, put the legitimate tag team back together, on accident, and they're like, well,
yeah, rules be damned, rules are rules.
Yeah.
They're not tagging together; they're just on a team together. You know what I mean? And then boom, you make something happen. Yeah, you could definitely weasel it that way too. I like that, but yeah, I don't see the point of Peyton and Lacey together.
Yeah, I said I missed that, and I thought they were going to determine it on the kickoff show.
Yeah.
And say, hey, kind of watch the kickoff show. There's going to be, something important happen.
At least a fucking
But
raffle.
yeah, something.
Oh. Let's see. I think we covered a bunch of stuff. There's a couple big things we haven't hit on, though. What did you think of the AJ Styles and his partner and not knowing he spoke English in that whole segment and their match together and stuff? I'm kind of liking this Raw team division thing. My only problem is that I don't think they seem to know. Wait, who did Retribution have a match with?
That
It was with them, right?
it was everyone but AJ. Yeah, AJ was on commentary.
Yeah.
It was, Sheamus.
I was feeling
Braun.
like they had no idea who the fuck they're putting over or making strong. Keith Lee was just decimating all of Retribution. And Retribution barely got a victory. And I thought Retribution was supposed to look like badasses. I just don't know what they're doing with Retribution. And I've been pretty vocal from the beginning that I've really liked it. I've loved Retribution. And I've defended them on here every week. Every episode 1, I defend Retribution.
Yeah.
But this
From
was
the
a
beginning.
match that felt like it just felt like a mess. Like, are we trying to make sure that Keith Lee and Braun look strongest? Are we trying to make Retribution look good as a team? Like, it seemed like everyone was trying to do their own thing, and I didn't feel a vision for this matchup.
Yeah.
Other than AJ's hysterical.
It was. Yeah, AJ's awesome. It felt off. You know, I didn't like it. I didn't. You know, I don't know. I think they lost their way with what they were going to do with Retribution.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like, all right, hey, we need a filler. All right, we'll throw in somebody from Retribution. All right, we need 4. Oh, look, there's 4 people in Retribution. Do them. They were supposed to create havoc and chaos wherever they went, and now for the most part, they're just getting their ass kicked every week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I don't get it, and I love this team.
Yeah,
It's getting hard to root for him.
no, big time. And on the other side with the Survivor Series team, I don't mind the bickering back and forth. Hey, do this, hey, do that. But then, it just feels like, I don't know, it rose more questions than answers. And, just Raw as a whole, this episode before Survivor Series, I thought was absolute crap.
I
This
didn't
in
think it was
no
crap,
way-
but I felt like there was some real messy stuff in going on. I felt like
Well, see,
Vision
I think-
was
I think there was-
skewed.
But see, I think there was a lot of messy stuff, and I think I call it crap because for this to be the last Raw before Survivor Series, it didn't get me hyped for anything. Outside of the Bray Wyatt stuff was cool. The Alexa
We're gonna
stuff was
get to
great.
that. Don't even worry about that. We're getting
But
there.
no, I know. But that was the one highlight. But they're not.
Yeah.
They're not even going to be in the Survivor Series card.
Okay. So building to Survivor Series, which is any good go home show should do, as us supermarks call the show before the final, the go home. Dude, I've been seeing so much fucking wrestling journalists try and talk in fucking wrestling jargon. It pisses me off so fucking bad. Why? I saw this. I swear to God, a wrestling journalist who I like goes, why would Asuka and Dana take a powder unless they're afraid of Nia when they're baby faces? They should be protecting the other baby face. And I was like, shut the fuck up. Who the fuck are you to talk about taking a powder in the same sentence as protecting a heel and a baby face and this and that? That is inside jargon to make yourself feel fucking good or smarked out or like one of the fucking boys. Relax on that shit. Take a fucking powder. Take a break, dude. Get the fuck out of here. That shit gets to me, dude. I'm not trying to be one of those dudes. I'm not going to be one of those dudes.
Yeah.
But building into a go-home show, as they traditionally call their shows before pay-per-views, take a powder. Get the fuck out of here. In your journal, in your fucking article, oh, just take a powder. Fuck out of here. Why would you have your Raw tag team lose to Retribution, who's not involved in Survivor Series? You want your team looking either very weak or very strong so they can look like underdogs or not, right? Underdogs are favorites, right? Going into Survivor Series, are they trying to make Raw look like underdogs, even though Raw has won every single Survivor Series apart from NXT since the brand split? You know what I mean?
There was that one year where they swept the entire show.
Several
minus the
years
tag
they
team.
swept. But yeah, 100%. So what are you building towards? Are you trying to have Retribution beat Raw because you want Raw to look like underdogs when they also looked incredibly dominant against that team who had to barely steal a victory? You know what I mean? Like, they didn't look like underdogs. They looked like dominant forces who could be favorites who made a simple mistake that maybe they won't make on Sunday because they fucking did it here. They know better now.
Yeah.
Take a powder. My fucking ass. But building into Survivor Series, this Raw had Drew take the title. You had the Raw team lose to Retribution. You had... Did Bobby Lashley do anything of note?
No. I don't think so.
But you had New Day win their tag titles against Hurt Business, potentially making them look like favorites. So you had New Day coming in looking strong, and you had the rest of the teams looking middle gray weak. Okay. That's not a lot of fire behind either side. They don't look like travesty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and you know, what Sam Roberts told you is, you know, with the whole Drew thing, like, you know, Drew and Roman, like, hey, you give them a teaser and stuff like that. Like, for a while there, you know, I was thinking Hurt Business was going to win.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, how great would that be if Hurt Business won and we don't get New Day versus Street Profits? Because we would be, you know, hey, we wanted this, you know. And you know, they didn't do it there, and you know, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, but like I said,
Switching out coasters.
for sure. But you know, this Raw, you know, I was just expecting a lot from it because, like I said, it was the Raw leading up to Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And you know, for them to sit there and, hey, your go home moments, Drew winning the title, like, you guys have been, you know, foreshadowing this for, like, to me, over a month now, or not a month, because Drew, or Randy beat Drew, what, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
But ever since then, that's what you guys have been saying. Like, oh, if Randy's the type, you know, if this, if that. So I was like, oh, to me, as much as I didn't want to see it, obviously, I felt it was obvious that Drew was getting the title back.
I was fighting it so hard, dude. I've been fighting it so much. I was like, there's no way he's getting that title back. Because in the back of my mind, I fucking knew it. And I was like, there's no way. Why? Why would they do this? Why would they be so wasteful? And the only thing I can think is in a year or 2 years, we're going to get a 16 to 17 title championship.
Bless you.
Yeah.
But like I said it on the last show, is I think they just didn't have a true main event match.
And they also don't know what the fuck to do with Drew.
Yeah. But
who are they going to put with Drew against now? I think although Drew and Sheamus could be tremendous.
Yeah, they should.
Dude, I would
We've
love
been talking
it too.
about it. Anyways, I'm done. I'm done with Drew. We're done with Drew. Quit going back to him.
Yeah, but I would fucking love Sheamus against Drew because you know what Sheamus does? Is he fucking lays it in. Sheamus is one of the fucking easiest to believe guys in that ring.
Yeah.
No one walks out of a match with Sheamus and doesn't remember that match with Sheamus last week. They feel it forever. That's what I love about Sheamus matches is that he's brutal. I don't think anyone's ever gotten injured in a Sheamus match. I don't think he's dangerous. But I think you're going to get bruises, you're going to be in a fight, and you're going to know it. And for me, sitting on the couch at home, I'm going, fuck, over and over again. And just thinking, I don't want to be in the ring with him. I don't ever want to be in the match with him. Where
This is
other
him
people, you
protecting
go,
you.
yeah. And he'll never hurt you. But I never want to be in the ring with him. That's how good he is.
No. Yeah.
Let's see. Jeff Hardy and Elias having that spit in the back. I'm digging it. I'm a little curious though. How much deeper are we going to go into this well? You know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see because I think we're going to end up wrapping up on Bray and Alexa. I was trying to see if there's other stuff. The New Day match against the Hurt Business was fucking phenomenal, right?
Yeah, it was a great match. I thought it was awesome. You know,
And to be
like I
honest,
said,
the main event of Drew and Randy was phenomenal too. It was a great match.
Yeah.
But it was what it was, and we've said a lot of things about it. So go back to the New Day. New Day versus Hurt Business. What did you think?
I thought it was a great match. Like I said, I thought for a while there that Hurt Business was gonna get the victory, and then we'll be, wanting the hey, we never got the New Day versus Street Profits.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I think they're gonna put on a great match against each other. But I think it was a nice way to kick off Raw, and it showed like the first match on Raw, and it showed how good Cedric Alexander and
Benjamin, right?
Shelton Benjamin are. Yeah,
Phenomenal, dude. Those four guys in the ring together was so good.
yes,
This was a pay-per-view match. It was, and I've talked shit about that before about putting too many pay-per-view matches on the weekly shows. Definitely about other companies as well. But this was one that was so good that I think that they separate again and we get back to it later on down the road and we're going to want it so bad because we're going to remember this one.
I think they're definitely going to revisit this. Like you said, Survivor Series are going to split up. Maybe even somebody else challenging New Day for a little bit. But the Hurt Business and New Day, I want to see it. I think them going back and forth, for decent story run is going to be awesome.
Yeah, 100%. I think we come back to New Day and Hurt Business in like a month or two, and we're fucking salivating for it because that was such an amazing match.
Yeah.
It could have been a main event. It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're just going to pull away from it, and we're going to be like, what the fuck ever happened with that? And then in like 3 months, we're going to be like, oh, fuck, yes, come back.
Yeah.
I guess we'll wrap it up here on this then. Alexa Bliss and Bray Wyatt, they're the best thing on TV that's ever happened, right?
I don't know. That DeAndre Hopkins catch on Sunday was fucking amazing.
Oh, did you get that meme I sent you?
Maybe I got a lot of memes this week about it.
About that catch? The meme I sent you about that catch was because the picture shows the Michael Jordan gloves catching it and Adidas gloves and Nike gloves. Yeah, Jumpman branding department about to have a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking good, dude.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was
very well.
yeah.
Alexa, like that, it's awesome. Like the chemistry they have with each other, and how they go in and out of characters. Like not characters, but in and out of alter egos, like so quick.
Yo,
and just play off each other's. Amazing.
Nikki comes out. and Alexa fucking slaps her in the face. After, whatever. They're looking like they're about to drool and spit blood at each other. And Bray comes out, and Alexa flips and just starts smiling.
Smiling and, yeah.
Clapping. Bray comes out and just stares at Nikki. Just stares at her. Like, you know better. Don't make me. Like,
I wanted Bray so bad to look at Nikki and say, "I'll get to you later," and then be like, "Oh yes."
But that's just it. Is he didn't have to say it. He visualized it. Don't become a problem, because I fix problems. And then, so he's staring at her for way too long, to a point where I go, okay, this is going on too long. And then all of a sudden, he turns and looks at Alexa and grins from ear to ear, so excited, runs over, hugs her. And I went, oh, never mind. That was the perfect amount of time.
Yeah.
Dude, incredible. And they're like skipping to the ring and shit. Like, get out of here with this.
Yeah.
But their funhouse before it was so good. I love the details of what Alexa's doing. Bray's waving. Alexa has her hand beneath her chin and like twiddling her fingers, waving. And then also waves a little bit, but then like does this lean forward. It's incredible.
Yeah, the little rascals.
Yes. Alexa is too good for this world. We don't deserve her in the WWE universe. We need to appreciate what she's doing now, because Hollywood's going to catch a glimpse of this and go, never mind, that one's ours now.
Yeah.
She's so good at this. And remember what we said, what was it, like a year ago? Episode 1, I think a year ago, where we were talking about no one should ever go in the funhouse but Bray? And then we even talked about, because this was an argument we all had, where I was all like, oh, it should be Liv, it should be Nikki, we should put crazy people in there, get a woman in there. And the argument we had was no one should be in there but Bray. It should be Bray's demented warehouse. And Alexa shows up in there, and you go, why'd they wait so fucking long to put Alexa in here?
I know. Should have been in there from the beginning.
Yeah, too fucking perfect.
Yeah.
She's excelling at this beyond measure, dude. It is insane to me. Her whole ringside action between Bray and Miz and Alexa, and then when Alexa dives onto Morrison and just takes him over the barricade, looking like a goddamn spider monkey from hell.
Yeah, some banshee.
Just banshee shit.
Like,
so fucking perfect. Dude, I've watched that GIF probably 1,000 times at this point, because I've just watched on loop, just thinking like, how did this even happen safely? And I'm watching it over and over again, and I'm like, this is the most fucking perfect. For one, you got Jim Morrison, who can just flip.
Yeah.
The dude has an access like no one in the world. We're like, can you do like a 3/4 flip real quick? And he goes, yeah, here you go. Pop. Yeah. No one spins like Jim Morrison. And to have Alexa, who has a gymnastics background, hey, go take him over the top of that thing, but come at him like a goddamn spider monkey. Okay, boss. Like, what?
Yeah. Dude. It didn't seem like a wrestling move. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't seem like it was nothing we saw like before in other matches or anything like that. She just like almost like my boys come at me when they're, pretending to be raptors.
Yeah.
She just like runs out, and the way they flip over, you're like, oh shit, like, did Alexa land on her head? I don't know, like,
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
It wasn't quite a cross body. It wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, just, it was amazing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it was so good. You were breaking up a little bit. I thought you would pause. But it wasn't quite a cross body or anything like that. It wasn't this big like dive like we would see. it was this crazy looking just leap at a person and flipping them over the side. And you couldn't have picked two better people, I don't think. I don't know. You could do that spot with two other people. I don't know if two other humans could just be like, yeah, we'll flip like that and be fine.
Yeah.
But they did, and it was tremendous. And I've watched it 1,000 times. And I have every intention of watching that GIF another 500 times. Because it is absolutely astounding what they did there, and it was amazing. And then at the end of the match, Alexa comes peering over the top, slowly smiling her big old smile, and then gets on top and just kind of like tightrope walks the barricade and like skips off with Bray. Like, what?
Yeah. And she was singing, like she was lip singing the Playhouse theme song and stuff like that. Like, oh, it was so great.
I don't know that there's more perfect TV right now than Bray and Alexa.
Yeah.
I don't know that Bayley's hitting the same buttons that Bray and Alexa are hitting. Bayley's a tremendous promo at this point and an amazing wrestler. But Alexa and Bray come on the screen, and you're not even going to get up to grab a drink and listen in the other room. You're coming from the other room to sit down.
Yeah. You're stopping whatever you're doing, and just focusing on that.
Yeah. You're yelling at your kids to shut the hell up and go to bed already.
Yeah. Shut up! I was like... But, like, don't get me wrong, Bayley's great and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what's coming from her. You know kind of the angle. You know, what she's gonna, like, hit on, if you will. With Bray and Alexa, it almost seems like it's like improv.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I'm gonna do this right now and walk on the thing. I'm gonna do this. And it's unexpected and awesome. It's just great. That's all I can say about it.
I don't know that if you listen to our entire catalog, I don't know if you'll ever find me saying a bad thing about Bayley. And I don't know that you'll ever find a clip of someone saying a bad thing about Bayley that I don't come back and snap with, she's the best fucking thing on TV right now. But I'm going to say right now that I think that what Alexa and Bray is doing is the most compelling thing on TV. I don't have critiques for Bayley. I think she's phenomenal. I think she's one of the greatest women wrestlers and characters that the wrestling business has ever seen. But I think that sometimes if Bayley's talking, I might grab some ice and put it in my glass. I think if Alexa and Bray are on the screen, I'm not moving. They're just that compelling. And like you said, that unpredictable. Like, I'll be able to hear where Bayley's going and know what she's saying and feel it. And I'll be good. I'll have no complaints. But Alexa's saying something, and if I'm looking in a different direction and I miss the facial expression, I think I missed something. What they're doing is drawing people in, I think, on a different level.
Yes.
It's insane. It's insane what they're doing, and what they did this week, I think, was better than anything they've ever done. Every week they do something better than they did last week when it comes to Bray and Alexa.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've said what we're going to say about that. Do you think Miz cashes in at Survivor Series and walks out of it at the end of the show, new WWE World Champion?
I mean, I want him to, just because I want it off of Drew, but I don't think so.
I think what I want more than anything in that match is I want Roman to just beat the absolute shit out of Drew. And really just solidify that he's on a different level. Because what I think that'll do, for all these people just saying I talk shit about Drew and I'm not unbiased. Sam Roberts, you've never been unbiased. Okay, Sam Roberts. I'm just kidding. Big fan of Sam Roberts. But if you have Roman beat the ever-living shit out of Drew like he did Jey Uso, and you go, I'm on a different fucking level. Get to my level before you talk to me again. When you get to WrestleMania, you go, oh, this might be a different level. And when you have Drew win at a WrestleMania against a Roman Reigns, how many WrestleManias has Roman Reigns lost? But if he loses to Drew after fucking decimating him at Survivor Series, I think you got something there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean that yeah. I mean that could definitely do it. Like I'm like I said, I'm not so sure how I'd feel about another Drew underdog story when the dude, bigger than, most of the roster. But yeah, I mean, I just truthfully on this one, I don't know where you go or who wins it.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see Roman, and there has to be. You think this is when they bring Sheamus and Drew together? Like Jay's on the outside, like starting shit with with Drew, and then Sheamus goes out there and is like, "No, this is my buddy. I got his back."
It's possible, and you could even have Jay and Sheamus on the way to Sheamus and Drew, really solidifying Sheamus as a main event player, even though he's been world champion before. It's easy to forget, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of interesting things about it. I think I'm excited for Survivor Series in that regard. There's a lot of matches on there on paper I don't give a shit about. But like Taz says, we don't wrestle on paper, we wrestle on canvas. And I'm here for the art of it. And I want to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
To see what Roman and Drew do together, I'm curious about now because I haven't been less interested in a match in a really long time. And here are two of your best players about to do something I couldn't give a shit less about. I can't be the only one, and I can't be the only one they think is out there. I feel like they're going to do something to make me give a shit about it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm hopeful for the state of wrestling because I'm hopeful that they believe that I don't give a shit about what they're doing, which is why they're exactly going to step up and make me care because they know I'm here to care. I want to care. And my biggest complaint I have here week after week on every episode one, because every show is our first show, is they don't make me care enough. And I think that this Survivor Series, they might make me fucking care, you know?
Yes.
Kev, was there anything we didn't talk about that you wanted to make sure we talked about?
No, I think we damn near hit everything.
We hit a lot of stuff, and it's the go-home show to Survivor Series, so that's why it was a little bit longer than normal. We had a lot of things to postulate, to drink about, to commiserate. Parappa number 12. Kev, what was in your glass tonight? Maker's what?
Maker's Mark.
Original?
Yeah.
No schmancy? All right. Was it that purple and orange one, or are you keeping that forever locked?
Yeah. That's forever locked.
All right. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
There's a do not touch until I'm in my casket.
I've had too many of those drinks, my friend. But should the day come, I'll have one for you too.
For sure.
Guys.
But one more thing I do want to... Wait.
Go ahead.
Wait. Who do you think is going to be the last two on the Women's Survivor Series team from SmackDown?
Yeah, I guess
because the men's SmackDown men's team isn't complete either, is it?
No, it's missing one. I think Survivor Series will pick up Chad Gable for no reason. I think the women's team will pick up Bayley.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, maybe Naomi makes a return.
She's on Raw.
She's on Raw? Ah, shit.
She's on Raw.
Well, who the
Yeah,
fuck's on
that's what-
SmackDown?
I don't know. Do you think Natty makes it finally? Like, her 5th try?
But Natty's on Raw, right? I could see Natty weaseling her way onto the Survivor Series team for SmackDown.
No, Natty's on SmackDown.
She's on SmackDown? Then
'Cause
yeah,
remember,
Natty makes the team.
Liv beat her.
It's like,
You're right. Liv and Ruby both beat her.
yeah.
And Bianca beat her.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
Natalya. She is amazing. I think anyone who hasn't figured out by now that that fucking Natalya isn't the foundation of the women's division is completely missing it. Natalya is the locker room leader you wish your favorite was. You put 2 new talents in a 3-way match against Natalya, and that match is going to be tremendous, and the right person is going to be the one you're cheering for. Every time. Every time.
Yeah.
I think Natalya makes that team 100%, and I'm backing Natalya for all things
Yeah.
ever.
Makes everyone better.
Yeah, I definitely think
Welcome.
Bailey and Natalya as well.
Yeah, my only problem with Bailey being on the team is, I mean, she's been on so many Survivor teams in the past that it just seems kind of a weird spot to be right after you lost the title for so long. I almost feel like Bailey needs a break, not because I want a break from Bailey, because honestly, for me, more Bailey on TV, the better. I have no complaints about any Bailey segment. I haven't grown tired of her. I'm not tired of the run. None of that. But I think from a character standpoint, probably need to disappear for just a smidge. So when we hear your music again, it's a oh shit moment.
Yeah.
I think it's the
Definitely.
one
I
thing
th-
that
I think the
WWE's
same.
gotten right every time that the other companies have never figured out is how to make an oh shit moment. And I think something as simple as, hey, maybe she's gone from Survivor Series for like until Elimination Chamber. That's an oh shit moment.
Mm-hmm.
Say
Or
what you were gonna say?
Rumble.
Yeah.
No, that was it. But the only other one, I don't think Chad Gable makes the SmackDown team. I think Lars is going to be in there.
You think Lars is gonna be on the team, dude? There's no way. He's a freak.
I think so.
That dude's all like, look how big my thumb is. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think
Guys-
you just need somebody big to go against the monsters from Raw.
That's a good point. Raw has Keith, it has Braun, and right now the biggest person on SmackDown is Corbin. And he's a big dude. Don't get me wrong. I've met him in person and thought, oh shit, this guy's a tower. But I've also walked by Braun Strowman and thought, oh, I'm in his shadow. There's a difference.
Yeah. You don't realize how small you are until you're next to Braun Strowman.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm just a little bitch. You thought that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. You got a Braun, you got a Keith Lee, you have a Corbin, but you're going to need probably a Lars. I could see that. I do think, though, Gable is the giant that never was.
Still not.
Yeah, and still quite not. Guys, I think that's our show for the week. We went a little long because there was a whole lot to dig into, and we always love digging into that shit with Kevlar on the rocks with an X on Twitter. He will respond to none of your DMs.
Pretty much.
Kev, are you ready for last call?
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
I want everyone listening right now to like, subscribe, give 5-star reviews. Give a 5-star review, but say a shitty thing and I'll read it on air. I want to see a review that says 5 stars. These guys can't figure this shit out. And I will read it on air. I'll plug you. I'll plug your show, whatever you want. Guys, I'm never ready for a last call, but that's because I lived in New York for a long time where after last call, they locked you in there with a fucking gate and gave you more drinks for hours. That is my life. That's what I'm going to be doing here. Thank you all for coming through. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following. Thank you for rating. Thank you for reviewing. And thank you for drinking with us here at Wrestling on the Rocks. Guys, I think that's the last call. Cheers.
Cheers.